You tip your hat to Coach Floyd and their staff and their team because they outplayed us and outcoached us tonight. And, you know, we played good defense all year, and you have nights like this from time to time. Thompson embarrassed them last week, and they responded. I said, we got embarrassed tonight. How are we going to respond moving forward? Everything we want is still out there. The road's just going to be more difficult. So.
And Sarah Strada is the director of the JV Rebelettes.
Welcome into Vestavia and Oak Mountain here as the Rebels take on the Eagles here in Region 3, 7A, and it's going to be a good one tonight, and a lot of excitement here for Vestavia to right the ship a little bit. Hello, everybody. Scott Griffin here, Chad Pilcher right here, and this is a game Vestavia needs desperately.
Yeah, Vestavia coming off of a really tough loss last week against Hewitt-Trussville in a game that was going to decide second place in this region. And the Huskies just took it to the Rebels, really dominated them in all phases of the football game and came up with a big victory. And so now it's a bounce-back game for Vestavia. How are you going to respond against an Oak Mountain team that comes into this game 1-7? It's a game Vestavia feels like they should win, but I think for Coach Evans, it's how are my kids going to play? How are we going to respond after adversity last week?
How bad was last week? Vestavia went into the football game giving up just over 11 points. Now that average is over 17. And not to be a homer, but you really do have to throw that game out. It was just one of those that just got away, and it's not who we are.
It was a good opportunity, and you just didn't play as best as you could. You take the loss and you move on because everything's still in front of you. You can still make the playoffs. You're still in a strong position to be the number 3 seed out of Region 3. And then once that happens, you try to win in round 1, and you'll get another crack at these teams later down the road, both Thompson and Hewitt-Trussville, if everything holds. So everything that Vestavia wants to accomplish is still before it. It's just important for the Rebels to come out and play well tonight and start a new winning streak.
We're eating through the games as we take a look at the schedule and see what games we have remaining and how we have done right now. And you see there's that lopsided 55-27 score. And you can see a lot of the single digits we had before the year, but the last 2 weeks haven't been the greatest. Oak Mountain tonight, County High on the road next week, and then, of course, Helena, who's a top 10 6A team as well. As we go through to the region record, what stands out to you right here? We're sitting there tied for third.
Thompson's obviously clinched the playoff spot, and that's another thing. Vestavia technically has not clinched their playoff spot yet, so you want to continue to play hard. Hewitt-Trussville's in a very good spot, and then Hoover, despite some early struggles, they're really in that 4 spot, and they're set in. If they are able to win out, then they would be the 4 seed out of this region. But still, again, a lot to play for all of these teams throughout the rest of this season.
Hoover has Chelsea tonight. Now we take a look at the matchup specifically, and we have Vestavia Hills and Oak Mountain. There it is. The Hills have won 1 in a row, and they lead the all-time series 14-5. We're going to go down to the field now and take a look at the Rebelettes of Vestavia.
On behalf of Vestavia Hills City Schools Superintendent Dr. Todd Freeman and Principal Ms. Tanya Roselle, we are proud to present for your pregame entertainment the Vestavia
All right,
Hills
so that was the Rebelettes, and we missed their performance, so we apologize for that. We were going to get on there and take a look at them as the band is going to perform here early, and then we've got homecoming festivities at the half, so we'll get all that figured out as well. We'll take a break and come back with the coaches show here with head coach Robert Evans.
Captains are Charlie Spencer, Amelia Stewart, Mallory Dean, and Virginia Dove. Rockette co-captain is Evan Reese-Lidas, and Rockette captain is Mary Catherine Morrow.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact
At no cost to you.
For more information, go to choosera.org.
Welcome into the pregame show with Vestavia Hills head coach Robert Evans. Disappointing loss last week, 55-27 to Hewitt-Trussville. They were ornery. The weird thing about this game, though, is we hold them to a 3-and-out pretty much first of the game. We go on a great drive. We started the game well.
Yeah, started well, and so about the first 3 series of the game went about as well as you could script, and then, had the turnover, and that was really ultimately the story of that game was when you turn the ball over 5 times against a good team and you don't get any turnovers, you're more likely than not to lose the game. And we lost going away, and you don't make excuses. I mean, you self-reflect, and I start with myself and just, in retrospect, just didn't do a good enough job getting our team prepared to play that game. And, you credit Hewitt-Trussville, Coach Floyd and his staff. They out-coached us. They out-physicaled us. I thought their kids played harder than we did for whatever reason. And, you just acknowledge that we laid, not necessarily laid an egg, but we did not play well. Yeah. And they played really well. Anytime you can turn over a team 5 times and not have any turnovers and run the ball as effectively as they did, you're going to win the game going away. And shockingly enough to me, I mean, you look at the game and, we have a chance. We're down 14 in the fourth quarter, getting the ball back, even as poorly as we played. And, I don't know if we make a comeback or not, but we roughed the kicker, who was the quarterback, and they go down and score, and that was ultimately sealed the game. But, it's you have these games from time to time. Anytime you enter the arena in athletics, there's the possibility of getting your nose bloodied. And we got ours bloodied last Friday. And you credit Trussville because they responded to them getting embarrassed by Thompson the week before. And I've challenged our guys, we have to respond this week. Everything in front of us is still, all of our goals are still attainable. It's just going to be a more difficult road in the playoffs. And but regardless how you shake it out, whether you go through Thompson the second round and Trussville again in the third round, more than likely, it's going to be a tough road. So we'd love to have playoff games, and ultimately, long-term, we need to have home playoff games here. But the road will be somewhere in Huntsville, and then back to Thompson, and Trussville, and then to Tuscaloosa and Central Phoenix City, and plan to be in all 4 of those games. But we have work to do, and we got to get significantly better between now and the playoffs to have a chance to make a run.
This will be kind of a bizarre question, but I've been thinking about it because this wasn't a fumble at the goal line or a missed tackle on a touchdown that was a heartbreaker. This was, like you said, kind of a manhandling. So it's almost to the point where you don't get so mad. You do the self-reflection, like you said, and try to get whatever good or whatever went wrong. You know what I'm asking?
Styles also make fights. And, I'd say Trussville is probably the team most like ourselves, where it's a power running game with pace. And the reason we're like that offensively is because I've struggled through the years of teams that have occupied or kind of have that mentality in their DNA. And so it's the way of the world. There's always going to be pace. You see a lot of spread teams with pace, but there's always a physical mindset, at least I hope so, for us going forward, because it travels. It travels in the summer. It travels when it rains, when it's windy, when it's cold in November, and you got to win tough games in the playoffs. That style more times than not travels, and I have a lot of respect and, have been in a bunch of battles with those guys the last 8 or 10 years, and, it's difficult to prepare for, and there's a lot of times we just weren't lined up, and so when you miss a line, or you're going to miss an assignment if you're not lined up properly, and so that happened. And then again, you credit Coach Floyd's son, who I think is the reigning 7A Player of the Year, and he's just a great football player. And I told Coach Floyd before the game, he's the best of all the trustful quarterbacks the last 10 years, and that's an Alabama signee, that's an App State signee, that's other Division I kids. And I don't think it's even particularly close who you at least want to play, and it's him. And hopefully we get a chance to play him again. And was able to speak with him after the game and just to congratulate him, because he is I really think just a phenomenal football player. And I think different, in the same regard, I hold John Paul. I think John Paul he didn't have his best game, but I think people respect the way he plays, and certainly will respect the way Peyton Floyd plays.
Quickly, injuries, we don't get into specifics, but we know William Tonsmeyer went out, got carted off, and probably not going to be around a little while.
Yeah, we'll have him, hopefully have him back for the playoffs. I think he'll be out a couple of weeks, and we got good news on him this past week, and then, we'll be short Cross, Tonsmeyer. The Tonsmeyer brothers, neither one of them will play this week, and we'll be reevaluated next week, and then we're just, bumps and bruises, but everybody's dealing with that this time of year. So you can't make excuses. You got to find a way to get it done, and we still have to win one of the next 2 years to officially be or 2 weeks to be the 3 seed. So we've got work left to do. Like our matchup this week, and think we'll bounce back and respond in a positive manner. But it's been good to practice the last 2 days. Nice weather, and it's a blessing to be able to come to work, and a blessing to be able to play a game and get better this week. And I think everyone's thankful to kind of get out and try to make our program a better product and make our fans proud.
Get that bad taste out of your mouth. We'll talk more about that in a moment. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and look at a big-time play in the game like we like to do lately. Then we'll talk about Oak Mountain a little bit later. You're watching the pregame show with Vestavia Hills head coach Robert Evans.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. It's an absolute certainty that God has called the church to be the vehicle to minister to orphan and vulnerable children. We provide for the church what the church is not prepared to provide for herself. And Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization.
All right, Coach Evans is here with our play of the week. Robert, what do you got?
Well, this is Chase Webb's kickoff return. This guy got us back into the game in the second quarter. And, anytime Chase gets a crease, he's a 10.7, 10.65, 100-meter finished runner-up in the state last year. He can make an explosive play, and that was his second return of the year. But really, the great thing about special teams is you're combining all sides of your team. And so we got a bunch of offensive and defensive guys on here. And Coach Welburn does an outstanding job with this unit. And you can see, we just get a very natural divide. Almost everybody is leveraged where they need to be leveraged to create a seam for Chase. And even though he doesn't catch the ball clean, you can see we just get a nice natural alley. And that's all you can ask those front line and secondary guys to do is to give Chase a chance. And, Carson picks up the lead blocker, and then we get a seam, and Chase is able to kind of put on the burners and do what he is naturally gifted in doing. And really exciting, big play for us, kind of got us back in the game, and it was probably the best play from our game last Friday.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Welcome back to the pregame show with Robert Evans, and of course Oak Mountain coming in. On paper, it doesn't look particularly close. This is a team with a new coach from California, and they've won one game, and I'm sure he's trying to implement his stuff in there. So what are we talking about here in this match?
Well, you know, they've had a tough year, and anytime you come into a new situation, you know, and you're trying to implement a totally different offense, defense, vision for your program, it's going to take time. You know, I live close to the Oak Mountain area. I live in Inverness and know a lot of the people around that program. And for the most part, the people I know have said positive things about Coach McComb. I think he brings an attitude, kind of a swagger to their program that you could argue is needed. But they've got to get more kids out. I don't think their numbers are where they need to be. But I think they've done some good things. And I think I know a few guys on their staff. They have a really good staff. Their offense coordinator, Ross Robinson, used to be the old recruiting coordinator at UAB in Sanford and was the offense coordinator at Georgia Military for the last 10 years. And so they do good things on offense schematically, and they have a good quarterback. And he hurt us last year. Their quarterback, their junior quarterback, is a very athletic kid, and they've got a number of guys that they have on offense skill-wise, and they're playing with a number of freshmen. And so sometimes it looks like on tape that they're playing with freshmen. And so, but coming off our last performance, it's the last thing you're going to do is take a team for granted. And so we want to come out and hopefully establish the quick tempo early and get up on the scoreboard. And the goal would be to get as many people in for a homecoming game on Friday as possible. But we got to solidify our playoff spot.
Defensively, what do they bring? And then conversely, how do you feel Tonsmeyer? Because Head and Tonsmeyer had, 98% of the carries pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, Williams is a big loss for us because he takes a lot of the pressure off of JP. So Carson Mann will probably start, but then, our sophomores, Whit Williamson and Carson Purdy, have done really well on Monday nights. Now they get to try to provide it on Friday nights. And then we've even looked at, moving Caden Taylor. Bruce Livingston's got some carries. Charlie, our freshman quarterback, Taff, it could also potentially get some carries, and then you get the element of surprise with him because he can throw the ball, and he is, Charlie Taff has lit up the Monday night circuit this year. He played one of the best, he's played 2 or 3 of the best games the last month that I've seen from a JV quarterback, so
awesome.
Super excited about his future. He's a human highlight film back there, and he's just steady and reliable, and he's got a lot of moxie, so I feel completely comfortable using him if we had to at running back. And then JP's going to get his carries. Hopefully it's not 25 or 30 carries. I would think it'd be somewhere in the 10 to 12 range. And, it's by committee. It's not going to be one person. And we think we got enough bodies to fill that role, at least temporarily, and then get William as fresh as possible for the playoff run.
Quickly, defensively, anything to look for from them?
No, I mean, they're kind of a 4-2-5 defense, and it's a little bit all over the place right now, to be honest. And so I'm sure it's not the product they want to see on the field. I mean, they've had several games that kind of look like our last game against Trussville where the scores just kind of got out of hand. And that's not to knock Coach McComb. I mean, they're just playing some guys both ways and playing a bunch of young guys, and that tends to happen. And but look, I've got respect for anybody in this profession that's doing the job, and especially when you move across the country and you're starting a program and everything's new and it's just totally different culture, new teams, new schemes, your new drive to work, figuring out where to go. I think Coach McComb and his wife had a baby during their first game, so he's had a bunch of stuff going on. I've never even spoken to him on the phone, never even met him in person, but look forward to talking to him before the game. And anybody building a program, trying to build it the right way, I've got a lot of respect for.
All right, we'll have kickoff coming up in just a few minutes. We've got the introductions coming up next. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
John Ballhead, senior quarterback.
Carson Mann, junior, running back.
Caden Taylor, senior running back.
Ken Richardson, senior receiver.
Cooper Mollison, senior receiver.
J.D. Livingston, junior, O-line.
Landon Page, junior, O-line.
Phil Hewen, senior, O-line.
Ford Brown, senior, offensive line.
Caleb Boylan, sophomore, O-line.
Bruce Littleton, junior, tight end.
Jordan Ross, senior, edge.
Chuck Hammock, senior, defensive lineman.
Ethan Denneberg, senior, defensive end. Harrison Faust, senior, nose guard.
Jacob Watson, junior, linebacker.
Grayson Bruno, junior, linebacker.
Gibson Bean, senior, linebacker.
Boucher, senior, safety.
Spence Hanna, junior, safety.
Jack Mayhall, senior, corner.
Cohen Nelson, senior, cornerback.
Welcome back to Thompson Reynolds Stadium, Buddy Anderson Field, the Oak Mountain Eagles, brought to you by Birmingham Fastener and on-time service. Against the Vestavia Hills Rebels, 5-2, reeling a little bit from last week. And again, we can't talk about how just shocking it was to give up 55 points with our outstanding defense and Peyton Floyd and how good he was, but that's it. That's the last time we mention it, all right?
Well,
are we in agreement on that?
After I finish talking about some of the stats and the way it went down, but you're exactly right. And the best thing about when you lose a football game is the next week you get to get back on the field. And that's what this team needs to focus on. But the reality is that Hewitt-Trussville put up 620 yards of total offense. They had 454 yards rushing, and Peyton Floyd did whatever he wanted to on the football field last Friday night. He rushed 22 times for 258 yards. Kennedy Mitchell threw in another 160. Floyd was 17 of 22 through the air, 166 yards and a touchdown. And did we mention Peyton Floyd's 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 of the 7 that Hewitt-Trussville had last week. So it was a dominant performance. Hewitt-Trussville did whatever they wanted to do. Offensively, they were 8 of 12 on third down, which really jumped out at me, and just was able to control the line of scrimmage throughout the football game. That was another big factor. And so for Vestavia, you realize if you're going to play those guys again and have a chance to win, you've got to improve. That all starts tonight.
And to throw just a little bit more fire on it, and then we're going to forget about it, we went into the game even in the turnover battle for the year, and now we're -6 because we forced none, and we just had a bad night with fumbles and interceptions, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, John Ballhead threw 4 interceptions last week, which is atypical of what you typically see from the quarterback position for Vestavia. Head's been outstanding all season long, just made some mistakes. Maybe didn't read some coverages as well as he could have last week, and that's going to result in turnovers against good football teams, and that's what happened. But this is a good team to get back on the field tonight. Oak Mountain comes in at 1-7. This is a game that the Rebels should win if they come out and play to the best of their ability.
B.J. Milligan is on the sidelines. B.J., what do you got? All right, thanks, B.J. And we'll get his mic working here in just a few minutes as we get ready for the Rebels to run out on the field tonight against Oak Mountain.
Yeah, Oak Mountain led by head coach Shane McComb. He's in his first season here at Oak Mountain. He came from Palm Desert High School out in California. At Palm Desert, he was 53-20 over 7 seasons, and he won 6 straight division championships. He was hired in January and walked into what was a pretty tough situation as Oak Mountain had just fired their former head coach, Tyler Crane, who had gone 10-12, including 3-7 last season. So that's a tough job here in this Region 3 that's just so strong across the board.
You're exactly correct, and we need a win. And as you alluded to earlier in the pregame show, nothing's clinched yet. We can sit here and theorize, and we think we're going to the playoffs, but you want to go earn it on the field. And, you know, County High, you know, they've been pretty good this year. They haven't played the schedule we have, but we're going to go to their house next week, and that's not a gimme, right? Not without William Tonsmeyer in this football game. Tonight we should beat Oak Mountain, but you still have to play, right? And then you got Helena, which the game doesn't really mean anything, but you want to win
going into the playoffs. You don't want a bad taste in your mouth, right?
You don't. That's a Tuscaloosa County team that's 4-3 and playing really well. And then Helena, they're playing great. I mean, they're going to make a run in the 6A playoffs. It's a team that's had an outstanding season. And so there's a lot to get ready for. This is a good startup on what should be a 3-game back-to-back-to-back games where the difficulty factor gets a little bit harder every single week. This is a game Vestavia should win. Next week, Tuscaloosa County is a strong way to finish out the season, a win you're going to need to stay in that number 3 spot. And then Helena, that's a tough game to really springboard you and get you ready for the slog that's going to be the playoffs.
As we take a look at the coin toss there, the Rebels in the nice-looking red helmets, red jerseys, white pants. And we figure out what's going on with the kickoff here on the signal. Vestavia will get the ball first. I kind of like that after what happened last week. But you remember we started well last week. You know, we held Hewitt-Trussville 3 and out and then scored on our first drive. And then second quarter, it got ugly.
Yeah, Vestavia was not terrible offensively last week. It was the turnovers that really got them. 343 yards of total offense for the Rebels. Started fast, went down the field, put 7 on the board, and then slowed down. The big thing that you mentioned is William Tonsmeyer is out for the rest of the regular season. He's got a hurt ankle, so he's out for the rest of the regular season with the hope that he comes back for the playoffs.
He told me on the sideline, because I talked to him, he says, I'm going to be back for Helena. So you're right. The medical doctors said
he may want to be back for Helena. I think his coaches are hoping he's back for the playoffs.
Yeah, and that, as many carries as he's had, 80, 573 yards, he's almost passed last year's total. He doesn't need warm-up reps in Helena for the playoffs, right?
No, the most important thing is to be 100% healthy, both for this team and for him personally, to ensure that he's back and can do everything that he's capable of, and then to get ready and make a run, because he will be needed in order for Vestavia to be successful in the playoffs.
And that's going to be something interesting tonight, because John Paul Head has 153 rushing attempts. William Tonsmeyer has 80. The next highest is Whit Williams with 13. So some other guys are going to have to step up, like Whit Williams, Carson Mann, Bruce Littleton, Caden Taylor. It'd probably be by committee, wouldn't you think?
They're going to get opportunities, and they have to take advantage. This is a game where you can try out a lot of different folks. You can let a lot of guys carry the ball and see who steps up, who's the most effective, and that's the one that's going to get more carries going forward. Also, Jaden Daniels is out at the receiver spot. So, I mean, Vestavia's down some guys who are out injured, trying to get healed up for the stretch run.
All right, so Vestavia again in those nice-looking red jerseys, red helmets, white pants. I kind of like it. I like every combination that we have with the Rebels as the coaching staff getting the team ready there. We appreciate you watching on the One Rebel Athletics YouTube channel. Also NFHS, of course, every week as we bring you all these games and hopefully the playoffs as well coming up in just a few weeks. It looks like, again, there's some football to be played, but it looks like that we would be on the road. Now, as of today, it would be Bob Jones. But when I talked to Robert about it, he basically said he's expecting it might be a repeat of last year when we played Austin.
Yeah, that's a really nice facility to go up to and play. The bummer is you have to drive up there to play that game. So, but what you do know is, absent something crazy happening, Vestavia is going on the road for that first round of the playoffs. And regardless, whether you play here, whether you play there, and whoever you play, the goal is just to simply go up there and take care of business.
All right, back deep for the Rebels is Carson Mann and also Chase Webb. Chase Webb last week took one, 96 to the house right when we needed it. He's had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. It'll be interesting to see if Oak Mountain even kicks to him, because film travels pretty quickly, doesn't it?
I would not.
And they're kicking a very safe high kick that deadens. They got to get on it. And that's at the 26-yard line. I don't think they knew if he could fair catch that, or you got to fall on it.
Yeah, that's a live ball as soon as it hits the ground. So you have to get on that football if you're Vestavia. I don't think we're going to see many teams kick it deep to Webb anymore after what he's done in week 1 against Mountain Brook and then last week against Hewitt-Trussville, taking kickoff returns back for touchdowns.
So we'll see who starts in the backfield, and it's no one. Taylor and Littleton and everybody else split all the way out. In motion is Mollison. Wide receiver screen with 2 blockers. There's room there. If Richardson gets on the outside, he might be gone, but if he had cut it inside, Chad, he had a lot of lane to run.
He did. That's a good start for the Rebels getting to the outside. Sean Ray was able to wrestle Richardson down, or he would have been gone all the way to the end zone. Good start for the Rebels out to the 45-yard line.
Head gets it left side, trying to come inside, running, and just pounding his way. First to hit him is Colton Moore, a linebacker. But Head picks up maybe 3 or 4 on that carry. It'll be second down and a long 6.
This is an Oak Mountain defense that's giving up 36.5 points per game. So they have given up a lot. They were outscored 62-0 2 weeks ago through 3 quarters against Hoover.
Handoff, and that's Charlie Taft, the freshman running back. And he got an early carry, and Robert Evans loves his talent, Chad. You know that, and kind of surprising to see him early in the game.
He's an outstanding athlete. It's why he returns punts. You're going to see him playing quarterback for the Rebels in future years, but giving him an opportunity to tote the rock here at the quarterback spot.
And now he's going to take the snap. Going around left end, cutting back inside, running. Some tough running there behind good offensive line blocking. He'll get a couple. There's a flag down on the far side.
Sideline warning against Oak Mountain. That will not be any yardage.
They are way back now, that's for sure. Now John Paul Head back. Carson Mann flanked to his left. Third down and 7. Head drops. He had plenty of room to run. Throws a beautiful pass on the little hitch route to Keon Richardson, and that is a Rebels first down.
That was a great throw and catch by the Rebels. Watch this dart by John Paul Head, just letting it rip for the first down all the way up to the 33-yard line.
First down, Head drops back, going deep. He got a man. Richardson is there, and it's a touchdown. Back-to-back big plays to Keon Richardson. Touchdown Rebels. That's his 4th on the year.
Any touchdown catch is a good one, but this one was outstanding. Over his shoulder, making the catch. Just a phenomenal job by Keon Richardson. Nice ball by John Paul Head. That was an incredible catch. Just dropped it into his hands.
So Vestavia, they went for 2 last week. I think the first play, if I remember, the first touchdown. And they'll do the conventional kick now. Owen Simpson will come behind Mr. Robertson there. Charlie Ingram, oh, now they're going to snap it. Robertson sends a man in motion, hands it to him, and that timing and rhythm was just a little off on that, wasn't it? Kind of clunky.
We're doing push-ups, we're scoring points. Vestavia is up 6-0. We'll be right back after this break.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Welcome back to the Rebel Nation Sports Network. Scott Griffin and Chad Pilcher, B.J. Milliken. Kicking off Owen Simpson. He's had several touchbacks, and that's another one to his credit. About half of his kickoffs this year
have been touchbacks. So another one for Owen Simpson.
Great start for the Rebels offensively. 47-yard touchdown pass from John Paul Head to Keon Richardson, and now it's an opportunity for this Vestavia defense to do something, come up with a big start. Oak Mountain is averaging 15.3 points per game offensively. They're led by quarterback Will Odell.
Odell's very talented youngster, and we'll see what he does. Handoff. Nope, he gets it himself, runs it inside, and he is down after about a 4-yard gain.
Ran a little play action, wanted to roll to his left, and the second he did, Jordan Ross was standing there waiting for him. So good recognition by Odell very quickly to tuck it and run. Odell, 6'4", 200 pounds. He is a junior.
Second down and 6. Odell going around right end and stuck down there by Mr. Tennessee, Jordan Ross.
Ross came into this game leading the Rebels in tackles with 45. He adds one there to make it 46. Jacob Watson second on the team with 44. Grayson Bruno 37. Spence Hanna 35.
Ross is almost matched last year's total in tackles. He's only 3 away in tackles for loss to last year's season total of 10 games plus 2 playoff games.
It's just the way he's matured and the way he's played. He has been dynamic all season, lived up to all the hype.
Third down and 6. Delay handoff inside, and that's going to go nowhere. Vestavia was ready as LaCameron Meadows had it, but coming up hard was Ledbetter and a host of Rebels. A lot of new Rebels getting some playing time defensively, I've noticed lately.
Some of that is due to injury. Some of that is due to the work that happened last week. And you're going to try out some new guys and see who will make some plays. And this is a game where, again, you can get away with doing that, trying some different guys out. But Coach Evans and Coach Rainey were not pleased with the performance last week, and new guys are going to get chances to play.
Ledbetter, I think, was sitting in for Cross Tonsmeyer on that nickel package, right? There's a squabbly punt that'll bound harmlessly at the 48. The Eagles down it, but Vestavia will get great field position on their second drive of the game. 8:17 to go here in the first quarter. Rebels needing to break it out in a big way. 6-0 on that last touchdown drive. Caden Taylor, Littleton, and others. Head drops back, throws, got a man, Littleton. And it was Taylor actually, hit him in the hands, good pass.
That's a perfect pass. It was a good job of shifting to get him open. Shifting, quick play action, goes down the sideline. Taylor was open. That was a really good throw. Last week, Head had a ball similar to that where he let it float and allowed the safety to come over and get an interception. This time, he zipped that one in there, just unable to bring it in was Taylor.
There's a throw over to Littleton across the middle, and he's down to the 26-yard line. Good play by Littleton, a nice play by Head. Head seems to be putting a little zip on the ball tonight.
He's throwing the ball with a little extra mustard, and you could clearly that's been a focal point this week. Not only that, but Oak Mountain is giving Vestavia a ton of cushion, and their coaching staff is not happy with the way the defense is playing so far.
So, Vestavia 6-0, driving again. What are you trying to accomplish? I know you're trying to accomplish a win and get back on track, get confidence, all that. Anything else you would throw into that pile?
Well, you just want to play better, number one, than you did last week. You want to be more consistent. And typically what you have with each group and or each individual player, say the quarterback position, hey, let's focus on really zipping the ball in there. Let's focus on identifying our first receiver, our first read, and get the ball out if we can. Let's focus on our receivers. Let's get our routes in the right spot. So focusing on little things that you clearly identified as done incorrectly last week, let's do them better this week.
How about confidence defensively? That sounds weird, but it's true, right? Confidence defensively?
I think that's important, and I think part of that's going to come through some new bodies out there defensively and just trying out different things.
First down and 10 for the Rebels. In motion, Taft. He's out there to block. Richardson cuts it outside again. I'd love for him to cut that inside, Chad. Am I missing that or no?
No, he could have, but Taft fell off his block a little bit early, which is what allowed the defender to get there. So that made it a little hard for Richardson to read because you didn't have that tightness on the block. If he had it tight, he could have cut off of it. It was a little loose.
Still a first down, however, as they hand to that's Taft. Wow, getting to the 10. And he's very close to another first down.
Taft looks very good, very confident out on the field, running the football. Doing a good job there, reading his blockers, following them.
Second down and 1. Sorry about that, Chad. And they hand off. This time head around left end. He's slung out of bounds right before he gets to the goal line. Robert told me this week, he says Taft dominates on Mondays and Tuesdays. He does a lot of special things, and he's excited about his future here.
No, you don't put a kid out there as a freshman if you don't expect him to be a big part of your program going forward. And looks like you got the present and the future right there.
Head coming inside. Boy, this time Oak Mountain did a nice job knocking him down. Head had momentum. Jacob Porco, the linebacker, first to hit him. Now the heavy package comes in. Ross thought he was coming in, but they're going to bring an extra lineman, Charlie Ingram, and some more beef.
Ingram, Watson, and Blake Smith have come in.
A lot of 200-plusers, right? Kind of a different set here, Chad. Start on one side, go on the other. That's an easy walkthrough. Touchdown, John Paul Head. I think Chad Pilcher, in his best day at Ole Miss, could have made that run.
Yeah, this is just a physical mismatch so far in this ball game with the way this has played out. Vestavia's offensive line is doing a good job getting a push up front, but on the pass routes, the Rebels have 5, 6, 7 yards of a cushion. On the run plays you saw there, it was a short. You're inside the 2-yard line, but Head did not even get touched. I mean, it was a complete wall created for him.
No extra bodies over there. They had extra blockers and no bodies.
No penetration whatsoever by Oak Mountain, and now Vestavia went for 2 on the first extra point, did not get it. That was out of a kicking formation where they shifted. This time they're going to leave the offense on. And typically when you go for 2 a lot in these types of games, it's because you're trying stuff out. You want to see what is it might work in the ball games. Let's see what type of look do we get if you need it later on. And this time they're going 5 across.
And the worst thing that's going to happen, you get film for somebody to work on, right? So Jordan Ross in motion. They don't hand to him. Head keeps it. I don't know if that was an RPO, but Ross could have run to leads and not been touched.
Yeah, should have handed it to him there and he would have gotten in. Instead, it's no good.
So 2 touchdowns that did not happen. We'll keep it here. 12-0. Vestavia on top. I think Ross, you think that was a true RPO? Probably.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell in live action. And I would say it's harder to tell here because you're not really getting a true read from this defense. Right. And that may, honestly, sometimes those plays are harder when you have a defense that's not as good or not as aggressive because you can't really read the linebacker or the DN who you're supposed to read because they just kind of stand there and wait. And a lot of times that's a lot more difficult to read on those types of plays.
12-0 Vestavia. 6:43. Owen Simpson to kick. Nice high kick. This will be returnable at the 3. And, boy, he's in trouble immediately to the 10. First to hit him was Ledbetter, and he tripped him up, and some other Rebels came up and helped out. Larry McSwain Jr. was in on that tackle and many more. So good coverage by the kickoff team.
And for Oak Mountain, it's another week, just a tough start in the first quarter. Last week against Thompson, the Warriors scored 21 points in the first 3 minutes of that ball game. So Thompson was up 21-0 on Oak Mountain with 8 or 9 minutes left in the first quarter here. Thompson trailing 12-0, coming up on halfway through that first quarter.
1st and 10 Eagles. There's a good look at Mr. Hammock at defensive end. Handoff inside. Oh, good hit there. Spence Hanna came up in a bad mood and met Oak Mountain running back Marty Myricks. He still got 3 or 4, but it was a nice tackle.
I feel like Vestavia's had a disproportionate number of big cushioned clubs on their defensive players' arms this year, between Gibson Bean starting the year there, Hannah there, but that was a great job of bringing your legs. You want to square up the ball carrier, want to get center, and you want to bring your legs, drive backwards to make the tackle. He did a great job of that there.
Odell around right side. Hammock comes hard and pinches down from his in position. Nice tackle there. Odell only gets a couple.
And we'll see what Oak Mountain does here. Last time they had a 3rd and about 6, and they chose to run the ball.
That was odd.
That was an odd play call there. Now, look, they are backed up in their own territory, just outside the 15-yard line. But if you're going to make anything, you're going to have to put the ball in the air and be willing to throw it down the field. So far, they have not. Oak Mountain has not thrown a pass in this ball game.
They got a 4 wide receiver set. Odell gets it, just runs up the middle, and he is very close to a first down, and they will give it to him. I really wasn't anything fancy. He didn't even really drop back and sell it very hard, but he got enough for the first down.
You would call it a quarterback draw, except he really didn't run the draw action there. Just ran straight ahead. Good carry. Vestavia expecting them to throw the ball there, but again, they do not. Nonetheless, pick up a first down, get the ball out to the 20-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 20 for the Eagles. There's your first pass, but the timing was way off on that. Causing some havoc over there was Gibson Bean. He got back there and caused disruption.
They ran the diamond formation to the left side to the top of your screen. Vestavia, that's the type of play that you make during film during the week. They saw the formation. They knew what was coming. Did not hesitate, took off, and blew that pass up before it had a chance to be completed.
Jordan Ross now out here guarding the slot receiver here on this low side. It's the first I've seen of that. Now he's going back inside and flip-flopping with Grayson Bruno. That's a little bit better. I want Mr. Ross around the line of scrimmage, yeah. I thought that was odd, right? And then he and Bruno changed positions. Penalty on the Eagles. It'll back them up 5. So it'll be 2nd down and 15.
And they saw Jordan Ross coming down ready to blitz after he came back inside, and the Oak Mountain offensive line flinched. That cost them 5 yards on the false start.
Ross, Hammock, Plaisance. Here's your front 3. Nickel coverage for Vestavia with Ledbetter in for Cross Tonsmeyer. Another throw on the wide receiver screen, and Bean is there in a hurry, as is about 5 red shirts. Hannah, Plaisance, Watson. I know Robert Evans likes to see that.
Love running to it, but look, if Oak Mountain's not going to throw the ball down the field, Vestavia's defense can just tee off. At some point, you have to throw the football down the field.
3rd down and 16. Reverse. Plaisance giving chase. And that'll get, 7 or 8. Oh, there's a flag down now. Bruno went low and knocked him down. We'll see what the flag's about.
I think it's going to be a personal foul against Oak Mountain, some type of illegal block. And so you go from...
Here's the call from the official. Hold it. So we'll replay the 3rd down, back them up even further, and they'll snap it from the 8.
Sorry.
No,
you're typically you'd say, hey, that was a 3rd down, you got to stop. But in this situation, 1, Oak Mountain hasn't been able to do much offensively. You feel confident your defense can make another stop. And 2, you want to back them up so that when they are forced to punt, they're doing so from their own end zone potentially. Or, regardless, you're going to get really good field position because you back them up even farther. So that's why you take that penalty. And now you're going to play a very loose defensively. Vestavia has 3 members of the secondary standing just shy of the 25-yard line. Another 2 just inside the 20.
It's almost like a 7 defensive back package. Handoff inside to the running back. Myrick. He'll get to the 18. They're just trying to play field position there. Hannah, Bean, and Hammock in on that tackle, and the Eagles will have to punt.
Yeah. I said you need to throw the ball down the field. That's not the down you want to choose to do it on. Instead, they run the draw. If you throw it back there with the way Vestavia is playing, you're just setting yourself up for an interception. Instead, a wise decision. Run the ball, get yourself in a much better situation to punt it away. But Vestavia still is in a pretty position to get good starting field position on this one.
There's the kick. Tapp is back. He's got it at the 48. Flag down, and he's in trouble. No, he's still on his feet. Escapability. Still on his feet. He ran about 30 and got about a yard, but there is a flag down.
That was a fun return to watch. Looks like we may have roughing the punter.
That was an Etch-a-Sketch return. And man down for the Eagles back near the 12-yard line. So we'll take a break here and come back with more. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
All right, welcome back. John Paul Head drops back. And boy, he had a wide open Littleton and just threw it behind him a little bit. Mollison caught his first pass right before that as the injury didn't last very long and play resumed. So to be second down and 10. Mollison last week, how many catches? 11, I think?
11.
And so he almost doubled his season total.
Cooper Mollison, 11 catches, 116 yards last week, and had one just on the first play of this drive.
And he had 12 going into the game. Boy, Mollison was open there and head through a nice play, but he was pressured over there.
Took a shot from Jacob Porco, the linebacker, coming up strong, and he had really good throw on first down, a little bit off there on that the next play, and then there on the second down play, it was being hit that caused that ball to go awry.
Third down and 10. Man is in at running back. He's protecting now. There's a throw. Boy, he had him open. He stepped through nicely and just misfired.
Yeah, good route by Richardson. He was open. The ball just did not make it to him.
Looked like it sailed a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it almost like he let it go a little sidearmish when he threw that football, but Vestavia's going to stay on the field. It's 4th and 10, but you're at your own 30, just inside the 35-yard line. Certainly too long for a field goal, and the way you've been moving the ball, you'll take a chance, although they're taking a long time looking to the sideline. Play clock now at 15.
They're going to call timeout. We'll keep it here for this because no one, Vestavia, they'll call a play in 5 seconds and be back out there. So 4th down and 10, and Vestavia at the 35-yard line. Let's try B.J. Milliken again here and see what he's got to say about.
Yeah, guys, it's very nice down here, by the way. It was like, so October is usually supposed to be cool, but tonight the coolness has really been on the field from the Oak Mountain offense so far. But yeah, the guys have come out and they are fighting and obviously trying to kind of come back from last week's disappointment. But, the crowd is way more into it, I've got to say, even than last week when that first touchdown happened. So a homecoming crowd, a great crowd. The students are fired up and looking for a big win tonight.
All right. A little cool down there, says BJ. There's a long shot. He's got a man open, and he just overthrew him. And that was Mollison who made the diving attempt. That was a great throw, just about a yard too much.
2 go routes to the right side. Richardson on the numbers, Mollison on the hash. Pretty throw by Head. Gave his receiver a chance. An incredible effort by Mollison to lay out. He hit that ground pretty hard, but just unable to bring it in, just past his reach.
All right, so 1st and 10. 4 straight passes. That's an odd thing for Vestavia, right? 1st and 10 there and 4 straight passes. 1st and 10 now for Oak Mountain. They go strong left now. Double slot. Handoff inside, and not much happening there. They got resistance, and then Gibson Bean cleaned it up.
Good job by Bean, but Jordan Ross made that play. He pushed hard into the backfield, really forced everything back the other way. Nothing was able to get to the outside, and that allowed his teammates to come there and clean it up.
Monty Hedgeman there, who looks like a nose guard. He is a nose guard. Hard-working kid. Number 99 there. Ross standing up behind him. 2nd down and about 11.
They get offsides on Vestavia.
So Vestavia a little antsy over there.
Yeah, Hammock got a little bit too aggressive there. And in high school football, if you cross the line, it is an offsides against the defense. He did. Tried to get back, but was unable to do so, so gave them 5 yards.
2nd down and about 6. Vestavia front dancing around. Now they move. So we're going to back it up and go right back to where we started from.
So Vestavia gives Oak Mountain 5. Oak Mountain gives that 5 right back. It's kind of the way this game's been going. It's just a little slow tempo as it progresses.
2nd down 11. RPO there, a delayed RPO, but a good open field tackle by Bo Shea as the Eagles' Marty Myrick's got some positive yards, and that's enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, that's that type of play you don't want to see if you're this Vestavia coaching staff. This entire game, there's not been much push at all for the Oak Mountain offensive line, and that time you're able to run to the outside. Good job by Myrick of putting his foot in the ground, getting north and south, picking up a nice 12-yard gain.
1st and 10. Odell dropping left, tries to find a man. He's open. That time you got your downfield shot, but they were trying to hit Trevor Shook, and they missed him.
I like that play call, though. You're going to roll out to the left. That's a hard throw for a right-handed quarterback. You got to pull back and throw it across your body. You have to really pull it in tight, and he just let it sail a little bit to the outside.
Your shoulders have to be perfectly.
You've got to pull so hard, push everything inside, get everything squared up towards that receiver. If you don't, that's the outcome.
2nd down and 10. This time Odell inside. Ross grabs him. The momentum of slinging him will get him 2 or 3, but Ross engulfed him pretty quickly.
That was a really good play by Jordan Ross. He showed up the field. He was the read man, so the quarterback is reading Jordan Ross. If he goes to the running back, I'm keeping it. If he goes to me, I'm giving it to the running back. And that time Jordan Ross squared up to the running back as if he was covering him, but then when the quarterback ran, Ross crashed down and was still able to make that tackle.
The quarter is coming to an end, so we'll take a 1-minute break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Welcome back to the Rebel Nation Sports Network. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, B.J. Milliken, our crew here. Odell drops, got a man on the outside, another downfield throw. That's another first down right at it. Cohen Nelson on the coverage. So a couple of throws by the Eagles.
Nice throws. That's something Oak Mountain's going to have to do if they want to move the ball against this Vestavia defense. Vestavia rotating a number of guys into their defense, going to give guys a chance to play. That may make it a little less consistent than maybe what you typically see because you're playing a lot of new guys. But nonetheless, it's a great opportunity for some of these guys that maybe haven't played as much in the early going of the season.
First down and 10. Odell drops, rush, sidesteps the rush. Now going in to the 40, 35, and he's drugged down at the 37-yard line by Boucher.
And that time, Jacob Watson came scot-free on a blitz. The defense was called. You have a chance to get a big stop, but it's a really good job by Odell of making a move, avoiding Watson, and then he was able to pick up 8 yards.
Second down and 2. Whoa, high snap. The running back caught it, and he still may have gotten the first down. Bruno came up to tackle him, but the Eagles got another first down, and that was almost disaster and turns into a new set of plays.
That was great awareness by Myrick's. After the high snap, he catches it on the tip. I thought he got a little bit farther. That was not a great spot for Oak Mountain. The Rebels will take it. I thought that was much closer to the 35.
Yeah.
They got him all the way back outside the 36. That's going to make it a 3rd and 1, but I would imagine this is 2-down territory for Oak Mountain. Whether they get it or not, they're going to go for it on 4th.
I spoke too soon because it looked like he did get to the 35. Boy, what tough running by Odell, but he's still short. He might have gotten a foot, maybe a football length, but he's still going to be short. As Yates Bannon, who's getting more and more playing time, Chad, was in there among the Rebels from that tackle.
Great job by Bannon and others flying into the backfield. They're going to put it right back at the 36, and now it's 4th down. So an opportunity for this Vestavia defense to make another play. Great job on 3rd down, great pursuit, great pressure slicing into the backfield. Here comes Oak Mountain. They brought in a couple extra bodies, a little heavier package here. 3 running backs in the backfield.
Odell hands and stopped. The Rebels stop him right there. Oak Mountain, I don't know who got the ball. I missed the number, but we'll see where they mark it. I think it's going to be short, right, Chad? Short of the line?
He had to get, the nose of the football had to get to the 35, and they have him marked just shy. So that's going to be Vestavia's ball after the turnover on downs.
I don't know if that was Myrick's or Sawyer Smith, but the Vestavia. That's what I'm talking about on the defensive confidence to get in on that.
Great job by this defense. 3rd and 1 turns into back-to-back run plays where the Rebels come up with a big stop. Great job by the defense getting a good push at the line of scrimmage. You talk about it. Last week, Vestavia did not win the line of scrimmage. They just did so on back-to-back plays here in this one.
So Vestavia with a football, 1st and 10. Head running left tackle, and he's down to the 40-yard line.
We have not seen Vestavia go as fast as we would typically have come to expect them to in this ball game so far. Coach Franklin's very frantically and quickly calling this play. They get back up with 30 seconds on the play clock.
Head inside again, left tackle up top, going, and down the sidelines to the 42-yard line. First down, Vestavia.
That was not great tackling by Oak Mountain, but that was a really good play by John Paul Head. Started out running just off between the guard and the tackle. Looked like he might be grabbed, and he just had a nice little spin move to shoot himself to the outside and pick up the first down.
Handoff Carson Mann, around right side. His first carry of the night. He's down the sideline. 25-20 and runs out of bounds. So Mann with a nice run of 25 yards.
Really good blocking on the edge by Vestavia. Getting to the outside, that allowed Mann to shoot in between his 2 blockers and fly down the sideline.
Head running inside, and he gets maybe 2 or 3. Very close to the 15-yard line.
Vestavia taking a little more time to get back up to the line of scrimmage.
Handoff man, left side, going up top, trying to find some room, but he's down to the 14-yard line.
And that time, Vestavia overloaded everything to the left side. The only 2 people on the right side were Hill Hewen,
yep,
and Bruce Littleton. So you had your left tackle, and then you had your slot back. On the right side, you had extra linemen to the left.
Timeout, Oak Mountain on 3rd and 4. I think B.J. Milliken has a note on Charlie Taff on the side.
Yeah, Griff, you know, it's always fun to be reminded how this is a game, and these guys are in high school. Charlie Taff had the biggest smile on his face when he was walking around the sidelines, and knowing that he was getting a bulk of the carries on that first couple of drives. And, you know, it's just fun to see him lit up on the sidelines, having a lot of fun, especially in contrast to the way it was last week.
He's been a punt returner, but he's got some reps, and he's right. He got some early reps for the Rebels. I think we're going to see a lot of guys tote the leather in the next couple of games.
Yeah, and he looked like he belonged when he was out there. Outstanding, running the ball, understanding where you need to be, cutting off blockers. Really impressive job by Taft getting in the ball game. And as you said, BJ, having fun.
3rd down and 5. There's that Miami Dolphins influence on the motion as Mollison gets a fast motion. There's no more slow motion on the motion. They take a sprint, and he turns up on the timing of the snap, and that's that Shanahan-McDaniel influence from the NFL.
Yeah, that was a 2-man route there. You had Mollison running deep. You had Keon Richardson running short. Head went to Richardson, but threw it just a little bit too far outside his reach.
So 4th down, we'll get a kick from Owen Simpson. This will be just about 31 yards. It's up, and it is good. So, nice kick by Simpson. 15-0 Vestavia. We'll take a break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
Here's the kickoff by the Rebels. They're up 15-0 with a couple of touchdowns and a field goal. There's a botched kickoff return, and here come the Eagles, and they've had some bad luck here. They're going to, boy, there's nowhere to go for the Eagles on that one. Tristan Vardaman trying to find room, but a host of Rebels down there for Vestavia. And Downey and Cohen Nelson, a bunch of guys down there making that tackle.
Great pursuit by Matthew Ledbetter, flying down the field. Downey was able to clean it up, finish that play off.
First down for the Eagles, now at the 6. There's the big club of Spence Hanna that Chad was referring to. And it is a big one. So cover 2 look for Vestavia, and up front, man, what penetration there. Myrick's had nowhere to go. Watson was there. Harrison Faust, who's starting to get some numbers on this defense.
Good pursuit. Nice job getting into the backfield, and Denneberg was in there as well. And what you're seeing, this is just a game being controlled by Vestavia at the line of scrimmage. And all too often in football, if you control the line of scrimmage, you're going to win. And that's simply what is happening here in this ball game.
Alan Peterson, I should say, at a tackle. Boy, somebody came flying in there hard and missed him. But they got cleaned up. I think that was Watson that came flying.
I think it was Denneberg got back there again.
Okay.
That's back-to-back plays where Denneberg has flown into the backfield and disrupted a play. And for Oak Mountain, you're just kind of creeping forward. Not very far to go. And it's going to put them in a 3rd and long, and that's just not where you want to be if you're Oak Mountain in a situation where you haven't had a ton of success offensively.
This time they spread it a little bit.
So far tonight, Oak Mountain is 1 of 4 on 3rd down opportunities.
Odell drops, looking, decides to run it. And, Jacob Watson. Somebody hit him low, and Watson hit him high. And I think it was Bruno that hit him low, and that didn't feel good for Odell. But he has a 1st down for the Eagles.
Yeah, good hit to finish the play, but not a great job defensively. Just kind of good coverage down the field, and a lot of times you'll see the quarterback able to escape. But that's the type of situation where you want to get off the field. We just talked about it. They were only 25% on 3rd down. Before that, that makes it 40. They're now 2 of 5. Good job by Oak Mountain. Just Odell recognizing the situation, fighting forward, and keeping this drive alive.
Another high snap, this time caught by Odell. Myrick's going around right in, but the timing off. And another great pursuit by Gibson Bean. Also, Shea was in on that tackle. Mayhall helped out too.
Yeah, no gain. That's a really good job by the Vestavia defense, flying into the backfield. And this defensive line's done that most of tonight.
2nd down and 10. Odell did the delay again. They like doing that a lot, and that doesn't fool Vestavia at all. Ross almost had him, and then a host of other Rebels came in and wrapped him up. Hammock, Watson was there. So 3rd down and 10. And to your point, if you can't throw downfield, you don't have a lot, and they were successful last drive.
Yeah, just not a lot going on. It says 4th and 10. I'm pretty sure this is 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they wouldn't be going for it. Odell drops, chased, and throws it out of bounds at the last second. Spence Hanna was the one putting the pressure on him and got a lick in, but that'll be 4th down now, and the Eagles will have to punt it away.
Yeah, good job by Hanna, recognizing coming for pressure from the secondary, forcing Odell to throw the ball away, but really just nobody open whatsoever.
So the Eagles will have to kick it away. 4th down and 10. Back deep is Taff, who BJ was referring to a moment ago. Whoa, they thought they might go after it a little bit. Lazy punt. Taff with the fair catch at the 46-yard line. So again, the Rebels are kind of living on the Oak Mountain side of turf all night long.
It's the classic example of defense turning into offense. If you get a good stop defensively, you're able to push the offense back. Then they punt from deep in their own territory. That gives the offense great field position, this time starting at the 46.
Handoff to Chase Webb. He's around the end. He didn't even wait for his blockers down the sideline, and he's got a lot. He doesn't have to wait for his blockers. Just go out there and get as much turf as you can, Chase.
Carson Purdy was out there leading the way, but you're right. Webb outran him to the corner, and when that young man gets his hands on the ball, goodness gracious, he is dynamic running the ball.
21-yard run for Webb. This time they faked to him on the wide receiver toss. Head kept it and only got a couple on that play.
So you run speed sweep with Webb, then you come back and fake it the very next play.
Handoff Purdy inside, and he falls forward. He had a couple of good runs last week against Trussville late in the game when it was garbage time, and he was out there playing hard. He got about 3 on that one. 3rd down and 3. Good look at J.D. Livingston and Hewen right there. Some of the big beef. Caleb Boylan, sophomore center. 3rd down and 4. They'll go right at him. Head's got all kind of guys in front of him. Still on his feet, twisting down to the 7, but there is a flag down.
Different ways to do it. On the first play, we saw Webb outrun his blocker. Yeah, somebody's towel came flying out. That time, that was a great job of Head following his blocker.
I thought it was a flag. It was a towel. Head around right in. He'll scoot in for the touchdown. John Paul Head with the score. And that's his 11th touchdown of the year on the ground.
Made it look easy on that drive and started with Webb to the outside, to the left, finished with Head to the outside on the right. Touchdown Rebels. They've extended their lead to 21 with the PAT pending.
So here comes the normal PAT with Owen Simpson. Again, Ingram will snap. He's looking back to double check. Robertson will place it down. Kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field. Your score, 22-0 Vestavia. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shonora, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
Long kick by Owen Simpson. And a big open hole that time for the Eagles to the 23-yard line before Coed Nelson helped bring him down. Good return by the Eagles. Sean Ray, a defensive back, with that return.
And we'll see if Oak Mountain can get going here offensively. They've had a couple of plays. Really, the best results they've had is kind of when a quarterback's gotten loose a little bit, maybe on a busted play. Just haven't been able to put those consistent plays together back to back.
1st down and 10. A new quarterback in for Oak Mountain as they hand it off to Myrick inside, and a bunch of Rebels there to greet him inside. Oak Mountain has inserted number 17 at quarterback, and I don't have that number on my roster.
Woody Hackbarth.
Woody Hackbarth, who's a defensive
back. Senior, 6'1", 190. Yeah, it was tough to get information all week.
Odell's back in, yeah. So we're doing the best we can. So he was in for a snap. Odell's back in. 2nd down and 9. Handoff. Myrick's, nothing. Ross is there. All kind of guys. Watson, Hannah, a bunch of guys for the Rebels.
And watch Jordan Ross get into the backfield here. Boom, push off, spin around. Let's go down right there.
So 3rd down and 12. .153, so less than 2. Plenty of time for Vestavia if they get a stop. Long throw downfield and knocked away. Good play there by Boucher. Cut in front of the receiver to knock that one to the turf.
Perfectly played defensively. You want to keep everything in front, which he did, and then as the ball came in, was able to slap it down.
Fourth down and 12.
There's a lot of red and white on this field tonight.
There is.
It's
I'm glad I like red. Do you like red?
I do. It's good looks, just a lot of it.
Just a lot of it. Taft has it at the 50, slung down and fell down. So he got away, but that momentum of slinging got him down. But still plenty of time for Vestavia with their offense. A minute 36 and the football near the 50.
Got a flag down back at the 24-yard line. So roughing the snapper against Vestavia, and the snappers are protected. You cannot hit them. They've got time. You got to let them get their head up. You've got to let them release. You cannot hit them before they take off down the field, and I didn't see it, but that seems to be what Vestavia did, and that's just a mental mistake there. And Coach Evans obviously not very happy with that result.
He's letting Harrison Faust have it a little bit. That's a mistake he does not want. And it's not really coaching for this game as much as the next few, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, you want to play it. Let's just be real. It's homecoming. There's a lot going on this week. These types of games are hard to get up for. And so you don't want to go into a lull because that creates bad habits, and that carries over when you really need to be sharp.
Odell rolling right, Hammock giving chase. Watson, he's got to run out of bounds. Couple of yard gain on that one, but stops the clock with a minute 31. And Robert wanted to get the ball back, do a little 2-minute drill from the 50 and try to score again and get near 30.
That's exactly right. Vestavia has 2 timeouts, so Oak Mountain actually, well, I guess for Oak Mountain, you're thinking you can go down the field, so they're going to try to get out of bounds and stop the clock. If Vestavia stops them inbounds, they will likely call a timeout.
Dropping, Ross throws him down, engulfed Odell for his 8th sack of the year. He only had 3.5 last year. He's got 8 this year.
That was outstanding, just gobbled him up. Watch the replay here. Odell sees Ross coming, tries to turn and run and get out of the way. That's a great shot by our camera crew and great play by Jordan Ross.
And to your point, a timeout for Vestavia because now it's 3rd down and about 17. So they hope to get the ball back here. And the football's back at the 30-yard line.
And so now a minute 24 left. Vestavia still has 1 timeout, so incomplete pass or out of bounds, obviously the clock would stop. Anything inbounds short of a first down, Vestavia would use another timeout to try to preserve that time and try to go put some points on the board. But right for the half.
Robert's still talking to Harrison Faust over there. Harrison's going to coach. That was 4 plays ago. We got him 3rd down and 16.
Well, that's the thing. But for coaches, you need your guys to play up to a certain level regardless of the situation, regardless of the opponent. And those are the types of plays coaches can't stand.
And to Harrison's credit, he's played great the last couple of weeks. 3rd down and 17. Odell over the middle. Nobody open. Picked off. Picked off. It's like a punt, they say. But you get the ball back a play earlier with the time factor down. And that's a great pick by Beauchet. I think that's his first of the year.
He essentially turned into the receiver. That ball was thrown way too far by Odell. So as Shea is back, Odell lets it loose. And you see there, Shea turns into the receiver, makes the catch. And then ultimately he's tackled by Sawyer Smith. But that's now Vestavia ball. And for Oak Mountain, you'll live with that because it's essentially a punt. The only problem is you didn't force Vestavia to use another timeout. Here comes man onto the field very late. He'll set up a tailback.
1st and 10. Head dropping. Got a man wide open is Keon Richardson. He's out of bounds at the 48. So that's a 14-yard gain.
That was a really good throw by John Paul Head. Put some mustard on that one and just let it rip to the outside.
Richardson's 3rd catch of the night. He has a touchdown already. Head drops over the middle. There's Littleton. He's by himself. 15, 10, still on his way. Go Littleton for the touchdown. Bruce Littleton with a touchdown of 48 yards.
Right down the middle of the field in the zone coverage by Oak Mountain. They have 2 safeties to the outside. Zips it in there. Littleton able to avoid 1 tackle. Gets a blocker down the field in Caden Taylor and then finishes it off in the end zone, and we're celebrating.
Great play call by Josh Franklin. He went outside, attacked the perimeter, then went back in the seam where he likes to have big plays down the field. Owen Simpson, it's up, and it is good. Timeout on the field. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Said I'm all about it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Said I'm all about it. Yeah, I'm all about it. Said I'm all about it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Welcome back to the Rebel Nation Sports Network. Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, BJ Milliken. The Rebels on top, 29-0. Owen Simpson with another kick. That'll be another touchback. He kicked that to Pelham, and Oak Mountain can't do anything about that, and they'll have the ball at the 20.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive Oak Mountain chooses to be. Already down 29-0. And for Coach McComb, you may just want to get to the half.
Yeah, minute 2 left. Vestavia has one timeout, right? Or are they up?
Vestavia has one, but probably unless Oak Mountain comes out throwing the ball and throws incompletions, Vestavia really is not going to be able to stop it. That's why if I'm Oak Mountain, I'm just taking the knee or running the ball and getting into the half. Because, again, if you come out and throw a couple of incompletions, then Vestavia could use that timeout and go put more points on the board.
Odell's going to throw. Rolling right. Boy, that was dangerous passing there. In front was Hannah, and there was a ton of guys around him.
Yeah, very fortunate that ball wasn't picked. They do throw it on first down. The clock stops with 57 seconds. So this is going to be an opportunity for Vestavia to potentially get more points. The flip side for Oak Mountain, you're 1-7. You're already down 29-0.
True, that's
You've
true.
lost a couple of pretty lopsided games the last couple of weeks. Let's try to get better. Let's see what we can do and try to make something happen. And so you applaud that as well.
Second down and 10, Odell. He'll drop and look downfield again. This time throwing it, and not even close. Intended receiver was Jacob Moore, but that was almost a throwaway as he was under pressure again.
Well, on that play, it's not really not that fair as he's rolling to his right. You try to give him some open area to throw the ball. Instead, he's got William Plaisance and Jordan Ross in his face as he lets go of the football. That's the whole point of the rollout, is so that you're not just sitting back there sitting still in the pocket. Instead, you do a little half roll and try to let it go. We've got a
Odell went out with an injury, so in comes number 17 again, and all we have for 17 is Woodrow Hagbarth. So 17 and a quarterback. Handoff to Myrick's and met forcefully by Watson and the crew. Robert Evans going down. Let's see what he does. Timeout, Vestavia.
And so that's the worst case scenario for Oak Mountain. You throw on first, you throw on second, an incomplete pass stops the clock. Then they try to run a draw on third down, They don't get much of a gain, but Vestavia uses their final timeout. And now, with the ball placed right at the 20-yard line, Vestavia has a chance to get the ball right at midfield. It's going to be about,
Hey, only 19 seconds went off in 3 plays.
Right. So that's the gamble. I mean, if you're going to throw it, you have a chance to potentially have some success down the field, but if it doesn't work, then it stops the clock, and now Vestavia's going to have another chance to go get points.
Fourth down now. Taft would love the opportunity to run. And the freshman is back near the 50. Bad kick. And that goes out of bounds, not even to the 40. Let's see where the referee marks it. At the 37-yard line. So 36 seconds, all kind of time for this offense from the 37.
And they're going to
disastrous finish right here for the Eagles.
Yeah, and 36 seconds, no timeouts, but the clock will stop on first downs. It stops on incompletions. It stops on out of bounds. So plenty of chances for Vestavia, although they will need to keep the ball in the air.
Head drops, got a man open. Mollison, he's got it. 15-10, down at the 2, and the ball squirts out of bounds. Well, they don't even need 36 seconds.
Watch this ball by John Paul Head. That is a pretty shot. Great job of using your hands by Cooper Mollison all the way down to the 1.
First down and goal. Head gets it, and he'll just run in, jogging leisurely for another Vestavia touchdown, 35-0.
And just a red wall for this Vestavia offensive line, pushing forward. Nobody even touched John Paul Head as he jogged into the end zone.
So 2 touchdowns in 41 seconds. Extra point by Owen Simpson. Again, Mr. Ingram will snap it, and Mr. Robertson will put it down. The kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 36-0 Vestavia. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
The on-time service technicians are really good, and Alabama homeowners agree. Before you call another home service company, check out our Google reviews. See the real feedback from real homeowners.
Welcome back, 36-0. Vestavia on top of Oak Mountain. There's Robert Evans. Short kick, and it'll be fair caught at the 27-yard line. 21 seconds now. Surely you'll take a knee now, right?
You would think, but Vestavia doesn't have any timeouts at this point, so even if you throw incompletions,
That's true.
You might have a chance. I think I would just take a knee and get to the half and regroup. They were down 48-0 last week against Thompson at the half. This week down 36-0, with 21 seconds left here in this first half.
First down at the 26. And again, the backup quarterback still in.
And that may be even more inclined to just hand it off, which they'll do here.
Handoff around right in. There's not anything they can hang their hat on. Myrick's trying to find something, and he's going to lose about 3. So not a lot going on over there. Vestavia, they've got Garrett Hurst now, senior defensive lineman in number 57. So that'll run it out at the half, 36-0 Vestavia on top of the Oak Mountain Rebels, and responding the way you would expect them to respond. B.J. Milliken will have head coach Robert Evans coming up before the Oak Mountain Band gets out there. B.J.
Well, Coach, after a tough loss last week, you hope the team would come out and respond. How do you think they responded in the first half?
I think we played a lot more physical and aggressive. Oak Mountain's a little bit down this year, and it's no disrespect. Coach McComb's just playing a lot of young guys, and when you play a team like that, we need to have a half like that just to kind of get the taste out of our mouth. And really, the reality is we got to win this game to get in the playoffs, and so there's something on the line as well. But even more than that, it was just kind of getting back to trying to find an identity with a physical, fast football team, and so far so good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Robert Evans and B.J. Milliken. Oak Mountain Band will come up. We have homecoming tonight, too, so stay tuned for that. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Welcome back to Thompson-Reynolds Stadium. We're at the half. Vestavia Hills leads Oak Mountain 36-0. The Oak Mountain band is on the field as we're celebrating homecoming 2023 here at Vestavia Hills High School, and it's just a cool experience, a cool atmosphere. It's a great crowd here tonight to come out and celebrate, and when Oak Mountain's band finishes, we'll have the homecoming presentation, which is always special for a lot of families to get to experience that, and the announcement of the homecoming queen as well.
You were the homecoming king, were you not, at your high school?
I was some things. I don't think we had a homecoming king, but
homecoming prince.
Sure.
Sure, we'll go with that. Whatever you want to say.
It's always an interesting time, homecoming for high schools, because all the kids are focused on homecoming, and for football, you're focused on the game and trying to make sure that you're focused in, and the coaches hate it because it's a lot of stuff to worry about that's not the game.
Forget about all that. Tell me about the Saints and Jaguars.
That was fun. I went to the game last night down in New Orleans and got to experience that. It was a great atmosphere. You know, weeknight NFL football, had some great seats and enjoyed that. So ate at Galatoire's, excellent restaurant down in the French Quarter. So
you didn't send me any pictures.
I did not, but it was a busy 30 hours. Down, dinner, game, back.
Down, dinner, game, back.
Prep for the game, got everything ready, and here we are.
Did a nice job. So Oak Mountain Band's still out there performing. Remember, the Vestavia Band did earlier before the game, and we will have homecoming coming up in just a few minutes as well. Just a quick look at the numbers. Oak Mountain with 5 first downs, Vestavia with 14. 215 yards passing for Vestavia, 7 for the Eagles.
Yeah, you're not gonna do much there. 56 total yards for Oak Mountain. They just haven't been able to get anything done. It occurred to me early in the ball game. I mean, they only threw the ball 3 times, and they just didn't go down the field. And it's just challenging to do that. Time of possession: Oak Mountain 16 minutes 59 seconds. Vestavia only 7:01, and so
7 minutes and scored 36 points.
So Oak Mountain running a lot of plays, but not picking up a lot of yards. They're kind of letting the clock run. Vestavia, when they get it, went really, really quickly and got things going.
Keon Richardson, 5 catches. I think he's got 57 yards and a touchdown. John Paul Head, 215 yards throwing already and a couple of touchdowns. He's got 3 touchdowns rushing. Bruce Littleton has a touchdown catch. So Vestavia rocking and rolling, 36-0. Vestavia on top. We'll take a break, come back with more homecoming coming up. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
We start each day at Birmingham Fastener with the same core values in mind: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're looking for talented people to join our sales and manufacturing teams. As one of the nation's leading manufacturers, we have over 10 locations across the country and endless opportunities to grow and succeed alongside incredible teammates. Become the future of American manufacturing and help build our nation's infrastructure one bolt at a time here at Birmingham Fastener.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shonara, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
Welcome back to Homecoming 2023. At this time, we're going to go down to the sideline to B.J. Milliken, who is with State Championship Wrestling head coach T. Adams, now Vestavia Hills High School assistant principal.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with T. Adams, Mr. T. Adams, the assistant principal and the head coach for the Vestavia wrestling team. A pretty successful year last year, Coach. Tell us about it.
We had a pretty good year. You know, we finished state champs, set a state record, 17th state title here for Vestavia Hills High School.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
So, you know, obviously all coaches in all sports want to know what the missing ingredient is to make that championship run. What was the key this year for you guys?
Our kids really bought into one another. You know, they did it for one another. I know that, you know, they always think the coaches do it. I mean, we don't get to do it anymore. So it's all in the kids. So the kids put the work in. They said that's what they wanted, so we helped them, went out and chased that dream and got it.
Moving into the assistant principal role, what's more difficult, wrestling with the wrestlers or wrestling with the kids?
Oh, man. It's a tough one. Right now, I'd say it's about 50-50, so we'll see.
Any predictions for the second half? I know do you have any wrestlers who are on the football team?
I have a lot of wrestlers on the football team.
Okay.
I got about 30, 40 wrestlers that are on this football team right now.
How about that? Okay, so you must be pretty proud of what they did in the first half.
I'm very extremely proud of them. So like I tell them, I want them to focus on football. We'll worry about wrestling later.
There you go. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right. Thank you, BJ, for that. Halftime continues here, and we have the homecoming court about to get on the field. And let's take a listen to the homecoming festivities here at Vestavia.
The freshman queen. Baker Martin is the daughter of Greg and Beth Martin. She is being escorted by her father, Greg Martin. She is a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Youth Leadership, and is a football cheerleader. Miss Baker Martin. Harper Lily, the daughter of Brian and Kelly Wood, is being escorted by her father, Brian Wood. She is a member of the Freshman Leadership Council, the Varsity Girls Golf Team, and is a leadership in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Club. Miss Harper Wood. Lori Woodruff, daughter of Mark and Candy Woodruff, is being escorted by her father, Mark Woodruff. She is a VHHS basketball cheerleader, a member of youth leadership, and plays soccer. Miss Lori Woodruff. The sophomore court. Peyton Davis, daughter of Meredith and Doug Davis, is escorted by her father, Doug Davis. She is the sophomore class vice president, a member of the girls lacrosse team, and a member of the girls golf team. Miss Peyton Davis. Meg Matthews, daughter of John and Mary Matthews, is escorted by her father, John Matthews. She is in the VHHS marching band and honor choir. Meg is active in Dawson Student Ministry. Miss Meg Matthews. Meredith Robinson, daughter of Robert and Mandy Robinson, is escorted by her father, Robert Robinson. She is a member of the Junior Varsity Rebelettes, Student Government Association, and the New Student Committee. Miss Meredith Robinson. The junior court. Finley Becker is the daughter of Todd Becker and Carrie Bell. She is being escorted by her father, Todd Becker. She is a member of SGA as the junior class secretary and is in youth leadership. She is a member of both the VHHS cross country and track teams. Miss Finley Becker. Camille Davidson is the daughter of Spencer and Robin Davidson. She is being escorted by her father, Spencer Davidson. Camille is a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Vestavia Bells, and is on the student leadership team of Shade Mountain Baptist Church. Miss Camille Davidson. Madeline Wigley, daughter of Jody Wigley and Kelly Knight, is escorted by her father, Jody Wigley. She is SGA chaplain, is on the Vestavia Color Guard, and is a Marcus Christian Camp counselor. Miss Madeline Wigley. The senior court. Emily Cooper, daughter of Jason and Meryl Cooper, is escorted by her father, Jason Cooper. She is a Rise Chair and is a member of youth leadership. She is on the girls' varsity flag football team and in the sports medicine program. Miss Emily Cooper. Jill Davis, daughter of Derek and Lona Davis, is escorted by her father, Derek Davis. She is a member of the varsity volleyball team and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Miss Jill Davis. Emma Grace Early is the daughter of Lisa and Blair Early. She is being escorted by her mother, Lisa Early. Emma Grace is a member of the VHHS Girls Lacrosse Team, FCA South Girls Lacrosse Team, and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She also enjoys being an equestrian. Emma Grace Early. Prudence Wachira is the daughter of Della Wachira and Naftali Maragi. She is being escorted by her father, Naftali Maragi. She is a UAB Prism intern and is a member of Youth Legacy Leadership at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. Ms. Prudence Wachir. Libby Woodall, the daughter of David and Cheryl Woodall, is being escorted by her father, David Woodall. She is president of the Just Singing Acapella Group, is the yearbook editor, and is president of National Honor Society. Ms. Libby Woodall. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 Vestavia Hills High School Homecoming. Here to crown this year's homecoming queen is our 2022 homecoming queen, Ms. Kaylee Rickert, escorted by our 2023 homecoming king, who was crowned at this afternoon's fest rally, Bryce Lamaster. Also joining them on the field are VHHS principal, Ms. Tanya Roselle, escorted by SGA Vice President Eddie Payne. Assisting them are SGA President Virginia Eichel, Director of Homecoming Sydney Allen, Director of Student Involvement Sophie Williams, and SGA Treasurer Chase Kaiser. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Vestavia Hills High School Homecoming Queen is Miss Prudence Wachira.
And there's the Vestavia homecoming queen. Beautiful night for her and her family, and well-deserved here at Vestavia High School as the band marches on. What a joyous evening that she'll never, ever forget. Great smile and a great night for the homecoming queen. What was it like when you won homecoming prince at your high school?
Homecoming is a
Right,
special time.
That joke's old. I'm sorry.
But congratulations to Miss Prudence Wachira and her family. That's a great something that she'll remember for the rest of her life. And it's pretty neat for her to have that night tonight.
All right, we'll take a 1-minute break. We're getting close to kickoff. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
All right. Big halftime cushion for the Rebels, 36-0 over Oak Mountain. Vestavia trying to go 4-2 in the region tonight, 6-2 overall, and head to Tuscaloosa County for the final game of the region and try to ensure that third seed.
And that's what tonight was about getting back on track. You want to see the guys play sharp. You want to see them play mistake-free football. They play pretty good. I think it's been a good performance for the Rebels, and now I think you're going to see a lot of guys get the opportunity to play here in this second half, which is also good. and they get to rest up for that Tuscaloosa County game. And Tuscaloosa County is a team that I think is dangerous. They started out strong. They faltered a little bit here in the last several
as
weeks.
their schedule's gotten tougher, right?
Exactly, and that's what typically you see happen. They came out and started out 3-0 before losing 42-7 to Hewitt-Trussville. They beat Oak Mountain, then lost to Spain Park 35-14, lost to Hoover 37-10, and they're currently losing to Thompson here tonight. So they potentially could be out of the playoff race by the time that they get there, especially since Hoover would have the tiebreaker over them. So they won't have the playoffs to play for, but if you could upset somebody else this season, that gives you something to be motivated about. And so I think that's potentially what you're going to see next week at Tuscaloosa County. And so Vestavia's going to have to play better than they did tonight. It's going to be a better opponent. And that's what I like about, if you're going to lose, you need a chance to kind of ramp back up and get your confidence going for the playoffs. And so tonight was a lesser opponent. Next week's a little bit better. And then the following week is going to be
Probably
a really
better.
good opponent against 6A Helena, who's having a great year. And so that will launch them into the playoffs.
And County High will be on the road, so that'll be a factor there, as we'll have to head down to Tuscaloosa to take a look at that. So getting ready for the second half. We'll take another 1-minute break and come back with more. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Rebel Athletics would like to thank Ross Neely, Yearly and More, Kathy Smith Remax, Alexander Shonara, Alabama Pain Physicians, Streamline Scientific, Molecular Designs, Arc Realty, and LeMaster Medical for their contributions.
Welcome back to Vestavia High School, Thompson Reynolds Stadium. Buddy Anderson Field, Scott Griffin, Chad Pilcher, B.J. Milliken. The Rebels on top 36-0 here at the half, and they've rolled up a lot of yards. And Paul Head has been responsible for 3 touchdowns rushing, 3 passing, 2 rushing. And the Rebels are on top 36-0. They'll have to kick it here to start the second half.
I would imagine Head's night may be over. Coaches typically like to bring their quarterback out maybe for one drive in that first half, and we've seen them play into the third or fourth quarter, but I think.
Do you put a Taff in there, or you play Robertson too?
Robertson will play
but
first,
Taff
I would
as
imagine.
well?
I think Taff will get some opportunities, especially if the score keeps going. I think you try to get as many people as possible into this ball game tonight. It's cool. A lot of these guys play JV during the season, and that's important from a development standpoint. But there's nothing like playing in a varsity football game. That's a special opportunity, and you want those guys to get that chance.
Vestavia's kickoff returns have been fantastic. And coming up hard, Rush Harper, number 3, injured his finger there, but he came up hard on that tackle along with Ledbetter and some others. So kickoff coverage team has been terrific tonight.
So now for the defense, you want to continue to be consistent. You want to continue to play hard. Looks like a mixture. Well, no, that's the starters still on defense. So no change for the Rebels. They're going to bring the starters out, and that's what we've typically seen from Coach Evans, is you're certainly going to come back out and play your starters when that second half starts, which is understandable. You don't want guys sitting out an entire half if you can avoid it.
Ross isn't out there, but normally he is, but the rest of them are first rep guys. Denenberg, Faust, Hammock around the right end. There goes Oak Mountain, and they'll get about 4. That's one of their better plays of the night. And again, the quarterback is the backup, and as best we can tell, it's Woodrow Hackbarth. That's all we got here. And I hope the Hackbarth, I hope that's his name, and that's what it is. But Odell, the first-string quarterback, went out with an injury.
Yeah, and that's when you don't have a ton of depth. Anyway, that's one thing that's kind of a little noticeable. There are not a ton of bodies over there on that Oak Mountain sideline. As
He doesn't have the numbers.
Davis. He just doesn't have the numbers yet. And so when one guy goes down, it is tough to replace him.
Handoff to Myrick's, I believe that is, and Bochet comes up for the tackle. Actually, Meadows with that run. So it's 3rd down and 3.
It looks like there's more guys getting in this game than I probably realized on that at first glance. It looks like we got a timeout by Coach Evans. He did not like something, and there's it's coaching to a standard, and you see it. It doesn't matter the score, and a lot of times coaches can coach even harder and get more across in these types of situations than they can even in practice, because it's guys getting a chance to play, and when you get in, you have to answer the bell, and if you don't line up correctly, you don't have the right assignment, you're going to hear about it from the coach.
It's a little extra special. You played for David Cutcliffe. He's the head coach, right? But you know he's noticing the offense, and you know he's noticing the quarterbacks pretty much all the time.
Right.
Same thing here. Robert Evans is very invested defensively, and he's noticing what you're doing. You're not getting away with any of that.
That's exactly right. It's what he's done for his entire career before he became a head coach these last 2 years. So it's something he's still heavily involved with. And yes, he and Coach Rainey go back a long time. So they share a philosophy, they understand, but this is his baby.
But when you're with Cutcliffe, you can't miss a step, right, on a drop back or nothing. He's going to correct everything you do.
One of the greatest quarterback coaches there is.
And, there's a fumble, and the Rebels are going to have it. I think Ledbetter fell on it. Is that what you got? Number 8, Ledbetter with a fumble recovery. Let's take a look.
Hackbarth rolls to the right. Good pursuit in the backfield. Comes back. Lets that ball dangle just a little. That's just a really good hit. Nice job. Nice aggressive hit by Harrison Faust. Knocks it loose, and the Rebels recover.
So Vestavia will have the ball on the 32-yard line. And we'll see who's at quarterback. It's Robertson, so you're right. I mean, usually they play a series or two, but Head gets the second half off, at least so far. Robertson, the big, tall backup. Inside, hands straight up the middle. Good hard running. And that is Purdy. He kept those legs moving. And he didn't get a lot of yardage, maybe a yard or two. But, again, he ran well at the end of the game last week and has a couple of runs here tonight.
Yeah, good aggressive tackling by Colton Moore for Oak Mountain. Just didn't let go. Good fight. Try and move forward, but Colton Moore held on and brought him down.
Second down and really no gain, they say. Robertson over the middle. Nice delivery. Caden Taylor with his first catch of the night. It's a first down, and that's a 15-yard gain for the Rebels. A nice toss there by Robertson.
Get into the open space over the middle. Ball's delivered nicely, and a first down for the Rebels, and here they go again.
And the pace looks good as they head to Purdy again. So I like the way Robertson's getting to the line. Everybody's getting set, and the rhythm is there.
He's not used to getting those reps with this group, but they look smooth. Getting back up to the line, get this call from offensive coordinator Josh Franklin, get up to the line, get ready to roll, play clock at 27.
Yeah, you're right. It's got Boylan, Livingston, Hewen, the first teamers in there. Caden Taylor now getting another first down as they're inside the 8. So you've got all the starters, Ford Brown, Livingston, Boylan, Page, Hewen. That helps a quarterback in his confidence coming in like this.
It's nice to be protected.
Robertson hands to Taylor, right side, falling forward again. He's to the 6-yard line. So Vestavia just picking up right where they left off in the first half.
Good job by J.D. Livingston pulling around, leading the way on that run play.
Second down and goal. Robertson hands off again. Taylor right side, bursting in. Boy, he's right at. He knocked over the pylon. Oh, they're going to call it a touchdown. They called it a touchdown. I thought he was a little short on that, but they'll give Taylor the touchdown on that. That's a little odd play. Let's see.
Here's the replay. We're going to be coming right into your living room. Bam, big hit.
Yeah, he's out of bounds.
He was out of bounds. Yeah, he got the pylon. The officials saw the pylon go down. He hit the pylon with his left hand. The ball was in his right. The ball was out of bounds. He should have been placed just inside the 1-yard line. But nonetheless, the officials called a touchdown, and Vestavia will take it.
I'm not going blind, so I thought I saw that, but I did see the pylon get kicked. In any event, it's not a important point. 43-0. We'll take a break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
The on-time service technicians are really good, and Alabama homeowners agree. Before you call another home service company, check out our Google reviews. See the real feedback from real homeowners.
And the Rebels getting ready to kick it off again. Owen Simpson, there's some push-ups going on there. That's going to be tough. It's already 43.
That guy's cheating. Not going all the way down. Not staying parallel. That one is in the middle. Well, hey, look at there.
Kickoff deep inside the 5 and brought out to the 22-yard line. Again, good tackles there. Anthony Beam, George Wolf getting some playing time on the special teams.
Great drive, that last offensive drive for Vestavia. Can't say enough about this offensive line. Number 51, Ford Brown. Number 77, Hill Hewlin. Number 74, J.D. Livingston. Number 64, Landon Page. And number 53, Caleb Boylan. We've tried to talk about the job they've done all season long. It's been outstanding. It's been really good tonight. They've controlled and dominated the line of scrimmage. You can't do anything offensively if you don't have a strong offensive line. And this Vestavia group has been very good all season.
1st and 10. Backwards going around right end. And not much happening there. Hack-Barth, I should say. Excuse me for that. Good play there by Bannon, who again is getting just more reps every week. And he's really improved a lot for Vestavia and Robert Evans, Yates Bannon. 2nd down and about 6. And RPO there, and Bannon's in hard. And a nice play there on the quarterback. So he lost about 5 on that. He tried on the RPO, but Hack-Barth had nowhere to go.
Bannon all over the place here in this second half. Great rush, just gobbled him up, threw him down.
So 3rd down and 11. Football at the 21-yard line. Another delayed handoff. Myrick's to the 29-yard line. I should say Meadows again. Excuse me for that. Myrick's is number 1, Meadows number 6. Meadows gets about 4 yards shy, but not enough for the 1st down. So another punt for the Eagles.
It's just really tough. If you have negative plays, it's really tough to try and recover from those. So the sack pushed them back, and then even though you do have some nice gains on the next couple of plays, you're still way short of the 1st down and the lineup in punt formation.
So back deep is Taff, and there's the punt. He'll signal fair catch immediately at the 43, and he's been money all year on all the catches for. I don't think he's dropped one, has he, that I remember?
No, he's done a good job. He looks comfortable back there.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to have. If you're going to try to return punch, you have to be confident in your ability to do so, and he does, and now Taft's going to stay in the game at quarterback.
Taft in at quarterback. Robertson played one series and led the Rebels to a touchdown. Pitch back to Carson Mann around right in. Carson's had a good night, a lot of yardage. He's down to the 42-yard line, so about a 15-yard gain there for a 1st down.
And Vestavia just getting chunk carries on the ground, just not much resistance from this Eagle defense.
Charlie Ingram in at a H-back. Taft hands to Mann again. Pulling was the left tackle, and Mann gets a little bit more yardage over there. Townsend Tenney, the backup guard, I should say, behind Livingston, pulled around to do a nice kick block. And Taft got 2 or 3.
Ben Mendham in there at the offensive line, as well as Wesley Smith.
Taft around right end, trying to read it, lowers his shoulder, and he'll get very close to a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Vestavia still playing fast. It's good to get these guys the reps and the rhythm you'd want, right?
Yeah, you still want to run the same offense regardless of the personnel who's on the field.
Taft with a fake, still on his feet. He's got a first down as he faked it to Purdy and had a nice run over there. So Taft running at some numbers. Luke Stubbs in there, number 9. Chase Webb is in there, number 2. And Vestavia on another march, leading 43-0 with 5:31 to go in the 3rd.
And just as we said you want to run the same offense, now Vestavia slows it down a little bit. Play clock all the way down to 15, which is something you don't see often for this Vestavia offense.
Taft again just takes the snap, right end, trying to get around, but he was drugged down there by Oak Mountain. I am impressed with the linebacker Colton Moore. He's made a few tackles tonight.
He's 6'2", 200 pounds, only a sophomore, so he's a guy they have a lot of expectations for, and he's shown up pretty big. We've said his name a number of times, and when you watch a linebacker, it's how do you pursue the ball? How do you fight for it, get off of blocks, and run to the football to make those tackles, and he's done a good job of that tonight. The officials talking over the flag that was thrown on that play.
Still talking for a long period of time, and so we'll see what the call is. So offsetting face masks. Weird for an offensive guy to get a face mask. So they'll play it over.
Certainly not something you see often. It's atypical to see offsetting. It's odd, I guess, at all to see an offensive face mask, but certainly it does happen as it did there.
Handoff inside. Lost his footing there. Getting the carry, Brendan Marshall, the senior running back. He played a little bit last week. And I think he's right at the line of scrimmage. So 2nd down and 10. Vestavia only 8 minutes and 54 seconds holding the football, and they've scored 43 points.
They've scored early, often, and quickly throughout this ball game. They are taking a little more time here on this drive.
Taft fakes the speed sweep, and he's drugged down there. Nice play by Jacob Porco, another guy we've called his name a few times.
Yeah, these linebackers have done a good job. He just read that very well. Looked like maybe if Webb had kept that ball in the speed sweep, maybe he had a chance to pick up some yards. Instead, Taft kept it, but good pursuit by the Eagle defense.
3rd down and 12. Not in any hurry here. There's the snap. Ben Menheim, the center. Chase Webb around in, still going. And he's to about the 20, they'll mark him out at the 23-yard line. So he got 7 on that. I guess you go for it here, right?
Yeah, unless you wanted to maybe test the leg and see if you could try a really long field goal, see what the range might be.
There's a flag on the play again.
And that could obviously affect what your decision is.
Well, that's going to go against Vestavia. This time holding. So they'll replay 3rd down. It'll be 3rd down and about 18. Football at the 37. Well, about 19. They got to get to the 18. Taft, the freshman, with Marshall, the senior, out to the right. There's that Dolphins kind of motion. They throw the comebacker. Chase Webb, he's gone. You won't catch him. Touchdown, Vestavia. Wow. Nice play call by Josh Franklin and great execution by the backups for the Rebels.
You see the motion go out to the right side, everything shifts that way, and then you bring the slip screen, wide receiver screen underneath. You saw all those offensive linemen came down, got to the second level, great blocking down the field, and it was just a wall to the end zone for Chase Webb. That's one of those where you couldn't have drawn. You draw it up, and it's executed exactly like you drew it on the chalkboard.
But for the backups to execute that was pretty flawless.
It was really well done. It all starts with the motion, which is going to shift the defense to the defensive left. Then you show action coming out that way, but the slip screen comes back underneath and then goes to the complete other side of the field. And so that's an alignment situation. You set them up with the motion and with the formation, and then the play takes everything against flow.
Whistle and rhythm problem there as well.
That was all kinds of discombobulated.
Yeah, there was a lot of movement. The kicker started and stopped and offsides against their Eagles. That'll be half the distance to the goal.
And Mason McDaniel is in to kick this extra point.
Kick is up. It is good. Timeout on the field. 50-0, Vestavia. We'll take a break. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
Back here to Vestavia. B.J. Milliken will join us right after the kickoff with the penalty. The kick from Simpson will be at the 45, so he could kick this to Calera if he'd like to. And he does. That's very close to Calera. That's to exit mile marker 242, Chad. Let's go to B.J. Milliken on the sidelines. Got a report on J.P. Head. B.J.
Yeah, Griff, JP was telling me a little earlier that he was actually playing sick tonight. I don't know, in the first half he was seeming to put a lot of zip on the ball, so he didn't look too sick to me. However, I have also become not just interviewer of players, interviewer of people, but I have become relayer of stats. Jacob Watson asked me to ask you guys how many tackles he has. So if you could let me know, I'll relay it back to Jacob.
All right. JP Head playing a little sick tonight. So it's good to get him some fluids, to get him a little rest, Chad, so he's got a little bit more time to get ready for County High next Friday.
At this part of the season, you have to stay healthy. You have to take care of your body. I tell you who's not playing sick is Yates Bandon. He was in there on yet another tackle.
He's really playing well. Second down and 5. Get backup quarterback for Oak Mountain. But they're keeping their first team tailbacks in there. And there's a nice run. by Meadows, and defensively on the tackle is McCall Moore.
Got an updated score, third quarter. Spain Park leading Hewitt-Trussville 30-21. And that would cause all kinds of chaos in this Region 3 standings.
I don't even know what to say to that. Are you kidding me? A nice run. The run of the night for the Eagles as they get a first down.
Then the ball came out. We'll await the call here.
They're going to give it to Vestavia. They will. Late call there. I didn't see who fell on it. I don't know if it was McSwain or who, but maybe we can see it on the replay.
Good keep. Leap.
There it is. Wow. Come flying in defensively. And that was McCall Moore who had made the tackle before.
Great.
So
it looked like Luke Beckham fell on the football. So McCall Moore, Luke Beckham, both in on that play.
1st and 10 for Vestavia. Robertson back in, and he hands to the running back, Brendan Marshall, and that'll be about a yard gain. A lot of backups in for Vestavia. So we're having to go down our charts into the roster chart to check out all this action. I see a number 7 for Vestavia who's not even on my offensive chart. Have you seen a number 7 all year? Handoff Marshall, left tackle, stretch play, nice play, good blocking, and he'll get about 6 of that. I love the stretch run play that allows the running back just to kind of find a hole and then cut it upfield.
It allows them to use their vision, use their athletic ability. And from a running back standpoint, you have to be patient. You can't take off just when you see one open. You have to be patient and see the correct opening before you take off.
Whit Williams gets his first carry of the night. You remember he was 3rd most in carries on this team, Chad, with 13. And he gets his first tonight, and he's very close to a first down.
There is no lack of depth at the running back position for Vestavia. Just roll one in, roll one out.
It is a first down. It's a first down.
We talked again, William Tonsmeyer out for at least the next 2 weeks. Potentially, the goal is ultimately to get him back for the playoffs, but you're going to need some guys to run the football between now and then.
Oh, that's a nice defensive play by Oak Mountain. They hand it to Williams, but crashing in for Oak Mountain there was Robert Yoder, a defensive back. Nice play.
Good defensive play call for Oak Mountain. Good play by Yoder. And a good, sound, strong tackle.
Does Robertson play basketball?
He should.
2nd down and 12. Fumble. Ball's picked up by Oak Mountain finally. So Robert Evans is not going to like that. And Robert's just standing at the 47-yard line. It's the first really slippery bad play for Vestavia tonight.
It's a good break for Oak Mountain in that the ball came out, popped up right into their hands. It's also a bad play because they kind of dropped it, had a chance to go all the way to the end zone with that one and get some points on the board, but instead come up a little bit short. But they'll get great field position after the turnover. They'll start, for the first time tonight, they will start in Vestavia territory at the 41-yard line.
Hackbarth in at quarterback still, so Odell's night's got to be done. He went out injured in the 2nd quarter. Hackbarth inside and runs right into Rush Harper, the linebacker, who had a great special teams tackle earlier. Hackbarth with about 2 yards on that gain. And it'll be 2nd down and 8. Rush Harper's only a sophomore. He looks like he's going to be a pretty good player. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break and come back. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. renew, and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Colors being lowered here at Vestavia. Always a great serene moment here at Vestavia. BJ Milliken has Laura Casey down there, our assistant athletic director. BJ?
Yeah, Griff, I gotta take these things off. I got delay go. Take these off. Obviously, homecoming tonight, a lot going on, a lot of stuff that you don't see on the field. How much work has it been getting this together?
Oh gosh, I think every week's a lot of work, but we start probably 3 or 4 weeks ago putting together a script of what's going to happen and when and what cameras we need and who's doing what. So it's certainly a lot of hands involved and a big process.
But a lot of fun when you see the smiles on their faces, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. It's so fun to see kids see their faces on the video board or on the broadcast. They love it, and that makes the job fun.
Obviously, football's having a great year. Tell us a little bit about the other sports going on right now at Vestavia and how they're doing this season.
Awesome. Yeah, cross country will go to their sectional tournament in a couple of weeks, their sectional meet, and we've got basketball that's just started, wrestling that's gearing up, bowling's underway, so we're full speed ahead in all of them.
Ready to go. This is a fall season mixing into winter, about to be, so a lot going on campus, and Laura is doing the work of probably 10 people, right?
Oh, I don't know about that. We have a great team, and we couldn't do it without them, so I'm blessed to work with the athletic folks that I do.
Go Rebels.
Go Rebels.
Thanks a lot, BJ, and thanks to Laura for all the work she did getting ready for homecoming. Almost an interception there for Vestavia on that play. So it'll be 3rd down and 8.
That's one of the cool parts of this job, getting to work as part of this broadcast, is you get to see everything that goes into not only the coaches and the players and the staff preparing for the football games, but so many people throughout the school, led by Athletic Director Myra Miles, obviously Laura Casey, the Assistant Athletic Director, John Simmons, also an Assistant Athletic Director, but there's so many people in that office in each of the sports, all the different coaches. We talked to T. Adams a little bit earlier, that put so much and invest so much in these kids, in these programs, in this school, and in this community. And so that's one thing we want to try to do, is really highlight all the great things that are happening within this athletic department and this school.
Habarth around right in. He's still on his feet. I think he's going to have a first down. On 3rd down, or actually 4th down and 8, he got a first down on a nice run there. He showed a little speed. Woodrow Habarth, again, the senior.
And this is nice for him, too, a senior getting an opportunity to play a good bit. He's played during the season, but getting a lot of good time here. And there you see the crowd. It was a really good crowd here tonight. Strong homecoming crowd. Got to see the homecoming court, the homecoming queen. We recognize a number of folks, and so it's just been a great night all around here at Thompson-Reynolds Stadium.
Hedgeman and Denenberg in. Yates Bannon is just playing great. That's his 3rd or 4th tackle of the night.
Keep coming, big guy. That is outstanding by Yates Bannon. It's not only the tackles, but it's the way that he's getting them. You see the pursuit. Watch him come to the top of your screen off the edge. Going to go straight down, read the play. And that's a hard thing to do. You see that run action with the quarterback. He may give it, he may keep it. Bannon read it perfectly, went straight to the quarterback, and made the tackle for the loss.
So 2nd down and 15. Oh, dead ball personal foul on Oak Mountain will back it up. So that's going to really back them up near the 49-yard line. So they'll have 2nd down and 29.
On a drive where Oak Mountain was being fairly productive, able to move the ball up and down the field, but now that penalty is going to make it pretty tough to continue this drive.
Littleton, Caden Taylor, and Head having fun with the sideline camera over there. Fletcher Tubbs. Second down at 29. Vestavia with a three-man front. There's that delay they've run about 10 times tonight, and just falling to the turf Meadows himself. That's the kind of night it's been for the Eagles.
Good recognition by Meadows, seeing there's nothing there. Did a nice job of breaking it out, but tripped on his own feet and went down.
So 4th down and 32. They probably don't have a play for that, so they'll punt it away. Taft back deep for the Rebels at the 20-yard line. They'll snap it from the 48. Short punt. Taft will let it give away, and it'll bounce, take an Oak Mountain bounce, and go all the way inside the 5 to the 3. So a good punt for Oak Mountain, and Vestavia will take it over there with a running clock of 8 minutes and under as we go here.
And this is a situation where, again, a lot of guys in the ball game. You don't want to make a mistake and give up points here. You probably see fairly conservative play calling from the Rebels, and as soon as I say that, they'll probably chunk it down the field.
First down and 10 from the 4, running inside. And I think it's Marshall. He'll get maybe one. All kind of Rebels in there. Ben Wallace, a running back. We haven't called his name all year, number 7 there. So, I mean, these are guys that play on Monday and Tuesday, right, Chad? I mean, it's got to be, right? Your younger JV guys coming up.
And it's just different when you're on a Friday night.
Marshall scoots outside. He made a nice little run, but he was corralled from behind, or he might have picked up 15 or 20. Tyler Campbell, defensive end, corralled him there, so he only got a couple. 3rd down and 7. Marshall looks pretty good today, doesn't he?
He does. A lot of these guys look good. It's been fun to watch.
Whit Williams in now, number 41 at running back. And again, kudos to the backups because Josh Franklin is still running his offense. There's a pass and catch right there. And he's still running his offense, and they look pretty good at running it. And that's a guy I don't have on my roster again. Hayes Hudson, the wide receiver, with that catch. 1st and 10. But don't you agree? The timing's there, the rhythm's there. I mean, they look pretty good.
Yeah, the goal is to not make it skip a beat, and that's what this offense has done tonight. They're going a little bit slower, but otherwise they've been sharp.
Whit Williams off right tackle. Offensive line doing a nice job. The backup offensive line, you got Ben Minheim, Blake Smitha, Wesley Smith, Townsend Tenney. Some guys getting some reps in there, right?
Grayson Fulmar as well.
Yeah. 2nd down and 4. That's a rarity, a Vestavia huddle. That's called a huddle for you people that follow the Rebels. They don't do it a lot. Handoff to Whit Williams inside. Sometimes you got to throw facts out there, Chad, when things don't happen very often.
What we're here for.
No, they're actually going to huddle again. That's a first in 2 years, back-to-back huddles.
And that's one thing.
I don't think they know how to get in a huddle. Did you have to coach that this week?
Probably. You want to be sharp. You want to run your plays, but also want to take time. You're not trying to embarrass anybody here.
Robertson with a nice catch. Hands to Marshall. He'll get 3 or 4 over that right side. Again, I kind of like Marshall. He's got a low center of gravity. He's got some cut ability to him. You might see him get some reps next week as well against County High. 50-0. That feels good after last week's 55-27 game that did not feel good. 2nd down and 7. Marshall, there's that cut, Chad. He just really looks good. Slipping, sliding, finding the hole. And let's give kudos to the offensive line who's opening some holes.
There's Keon Richardson and his fans, and he should have a lot.
It's another 1st down for Vestavia. Robertson, Whit Williams inside. He's got 5 to the 42-yard line. I would be happy just to keep this ball for the rest of the time till the horn blows.
Let it run out.
Wesley Smith, the backup center senior, getting some playing time on his final homecoming. Blocking well. Robertson, a low snap. Whit Williams, right side, and dumped down immediately right there for about a yard gain.
Updated score, 7 minutes, 15 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Spain Park is beating Hewitt-Trussville 36-21. Goodness gracious.
How much time?
7 minutes left, so coming up on the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. Look, for Vestavia, you wanted a game to come back after getting beat up. For Hewitt, you wonder, that has to be some type of hangover, right? Like, we just played the best game we've played in a long time. And
after
then
a disastrous game before
correct.
that, though,
and
right?
now Spain Park's a team that a lot of people thought had.
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. They're not. Yeah. They should have beaten Hoover.
They've got players.
Yeah, they should have beaten Hoover. They've got some good players next year, and a lot of those kids are coming back. They're highly recruited guys. But it's a team that is dangerous. But look, no way you could have convinced me that was going to happen.
1st down and 10. First down and 10 for Vestavia.
That'll be Hewitt's 2nd loss in the region. Now they would still have the tiebreaker over Vestavia because they beat Vestavia head-to-head. So they'd have to lose again. Even
I'm
if
not
Vestavia
sure who
won
they
out.
play.
Right.
I think they have Chelsea left, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
2nd down and 4. Clock getting to under 2 minutes now. 1:30 and counting. But that is a shocking score. So they had a hangover before, then were fired up against Vestavia, and another hangover afterwards. But they're a very dangerous football team. 1:13 to go. Robertson, Whit Williams, right side, good yardage, churning. He's got another 1st down. So how many? That'd probably be about 20, 21 1st downs, would you say, for Vestavia? So a good run by Whit Williams.
It's been a great night, great push. Hey, we got a lot of folks that listen every week, and we really appreciate it. It's awesome to hear from everybody, letting us know you're listening in. Sometimes they give us suggestions on what we should and shouldn't say, correct us when maybe we miss a little something, but sometimes there's really important stuff that we want to get on the air. So we want to say happy birthday to Melissa Wood, who's celebrating tonight, and be hard-pressed to find a better person there, so happy birthday, Melissa.
You must get a slice of cake later or something. 1st and 10. Is that right?
That's correct.
Handoff inside. That might do it right there. And Robert Evans thinks it's done. That last run by Vestavia will do it. 50-0. The Rebels take out the Eagles. So a big win tonight. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll come back with more. You're watching the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Are you sure about the air you breathe at home? You can be with Green Home Solutions. They provide indoor air testing, treatments, and analysis that doesn't just find the problem, but resolves the problem. Disinfection, mold remediation, and odor removal creates clean indoor air so your family breathes easier. Call Green Home Solutions at 205-968-1425. That's 205-968-1425.
Big win tonight for Vestavia to get off that get that bad taste out of your mouth, right? Just spit it out from last week's loss to Trustful. And Robert Evans, that may have been the shortest speech in the history of post-game speeches. B.J. Milliken has Robert down on the field.
Well, Coach, Griff just said it, a good win to get the bad taste out of your mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the word of the week was respond. And my response was practice. And we got after it in practice this week and just got some stuff fixed that we needed to get fixed and just played with more emotion and passion tonight. And that's needed. But that's this region. You know, right now Spain's up on Trustful 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And any given Friday night, anything can happen. So we don't take this for granted. Obviously, we're the better football team. But I'm glad we played like it and really from the outset dominated the game. And we needed a game like this. And it was good to see these seniors get some playing time because it's just tough to get guys in there when we're in competitive games every Friday. But hats off to these guys, and I hope they enjoy the homecoming and make good decisions.
You know, you said last year playing meaningful football in November is the goal, and again, that's going to happen this year. How big is it to kind of go into this last month with a little momentum?
Well, it means that we've made the playoffs 2 years in a row, which hadn't been done in almost a decade, which is a great compliment to these guys and to where our program's heading. And looks like we're going to go back to Austin and got a lot of respect for Coach Perkins, but I don't care if we're playing the Dallas Cowboys. We'll take it to still be playing, and we're still playing. And if we can get healthy and get on the same page and be fresh heading into playoffs, we got 2 really physical games coming up with T County and Helena. And hopefully we can get through those unscathed and get on a roll heading into the playoffs because we'll hopefully head back to Alabaster in round 2.
There you go. You mentioned homecoming. It's got to be cool to see these seniors do their last homecoming and all the festivities that surround it.
And what's really great for me is the seniors grew up and it's a senior class. They didn't have a whole lot of success in the youth leagues. They didn't have a whole lot of success in the middle schools or the 9th grade. But when supported and when developed, you can see what they're doing. We got a chance to win hopefully 8 games in the regular season, hopefully 9 or 10, 11, 12 in the playoffs. And it's just a credit to community football where guys stick it out. And a lot of our guys, again, are Monday night players last year, have developed, and it's their time, and they're doing what they're supposed to do to get to the playoffs.
Thanks, Coach. See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Robert Evans, B.J. Milliken kind of going over the playoff deal there. And as Robert said, perhaps Austin would be that team that we would play again last year. We went up there as the 4th seed last year and really handled them pretty well. So we'll see what happens again this time. But just your impressions of the game. It's good to get that just bad taste out of your mouth, 50-0. Young guys get to play. It seems like we're back on track.
You want to take care of business in a game like this. Vestavia did that. A lot of times it's hard to tell, and they won't know until the film is watched, did we win because we played well or because the other team wasn't quite up to par?
Maybe it's a combo, right?
It's probably a combination of both. What you want to do, though, is a team you should dominate, come out and dominate, and that's what the Rebels did. They came out, they won in the manner that they needed to win, they looked sharp, and they got the bad taste of last week out of their mouth, and so they were able to take care of business, which is important. The really more interesting thing tonight is that Spain Park is still up on Hewitt-Trussville, now 36-29 with about 5 minutes left. That doesn't immediately do anything for Vestavia from a playoff perspective. You'd still need more to happen, but nonetheless, that's a significant development here in this region. It'd be a huge win for Spain Park and Coach Tim Fakakis as he's building up his program. But going back to Vestavia, what you have to do the next, now 2 weeks left in the season, is take care of business. They did that tonight, 2 more to go.
And to Chad's point, that would make both teams 3-2, but obviously the tiebreaker, they beat us head-to-head. So it would change nothing unless something nuts happened in the last couple of weeks. Again, you go on the road, you take care of business. County High next week. Helena, a top 10 6A team, coming back. And to your point, you just want to keep getting better, heading into the playoffs where you're probably going to live out of a suitcase and be on the road.
Typically in football, the best team is going to win, but if you want to make a run in the playoffs, you have to be hot at the right time of the season, and this is when you have to start building up and working on getting hot. And the Rebels did that tonight. It was a really good performance. They ran the ball. They threw the ball. I thought John Paul Head threw the ball really, really well.
Yeah,
I thought defensively they did a really nice job. Jordan Ross looked good flying around the field. Yates Bannon, great game for him tonight. Really played well. And so the defense looked sharp. The offense got back on track, and the Rebels pick up the win, and now it's on to the next.
All right, we will be live about 6:30 next Friday from County High. And then, of course, Helena for our final home game. That'll be a good one here a couple of weeks from tonight. Great job by our crew, as always. John Rocket directing, JV and Abby on the slow motion, Randy Mize on our color camera, Toby Carter on the play-by-play, Fletcher Tubbs sideline, and BJ Milliken, of course, bringing us all that stuff there. So for all the crew, we'll say so long from Thompson Reynolds Stadium. The final again, 50-0 Vestavia over Oak Mountain. We'll talk to you again next week at 6:30 from Tuscaloosa. So long, everybody.